connecting to the real nerds is so easy. You can go to our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can like us on Facebook. We have a Twitter account, @RealNerds. We also have Instagram. You can call us, 720-6nerds5. You want to email us? You can do that too, realnerds@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show.
Coming to you from the X-Axis, it's John of All Trades with your host, John X.
Welcome to this John of All Trades podcast promo. Each Wednesday, I bring you a brand new interview with someone fascinating and ask the question we all ask when we meet someone new. Hey, what do you do? It's fun, informative, and it's the 2017 Westward Reader's Choice Award winner for Best Denver Podcast. iTunes, Stitcher, and johnofalltrades.us.
Welcome to the Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic Con 2018 and beyond. I am a host, James, and I am joined as sometimes by...
Ryan.
What?
No, I didn't say that. I swear. Zach.
Okay, yes, Zach is here. Also...
Ho, ho, ho.
God damn it.
No, I'm not going to do it. It wouldn't be fun without... Sorry, folks. The plan was for me to pretend to be asshole Santa Claus and make fun of myself. But
wait, okay, who are you?
I'm Santa. I'm Zach.
Wow. I'm Santa. He's this into his own delusions. I got Zach and Brad here. No Ryan this week. He is unfortunately out saving the world.
I'm Batman.
He's protecting a city.
One piece of paperwork
like
at a time.
Superhero.
I am the man who knocks.
Yeah. He's living in slow motion those montages from Hot Fuzz where they fill out paperwork, but cool. Only there's no cool music and it doesn't go fast.
He's actually just in a field firing his gun up in the air and going,
yeah. Anyway, I'm sure he'll be back next week. Actually, he's going to call in and give us his review of the movie this week, which is what we do. Every week we go see a movie. This week we went and saw some movies, and then we podcast our experience of the world. This week we had a kind of rough time, so we decided that we would sort of repeat a movie that three of us saw a few weeks ago, which is 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri.
Because it wasn't featured.
Yeah, it wasn't featured, and we didn't get to really dig into it, even though it's, certainly...
worthy.
If you listened to that episode already, you know that some of us think it's a pretty good movie. And then some of us also went and saw Lady Bird. I almost said Lady Hawk. Different film.
shit, we saw the wrong film, man.
Zach and I went and saw Lady Bird this week, so we'll talk about that as well at the end. We'll talk about whether or not you should see the movie, and then we will...
And I'm going to make up shit about it. Like I did see it.
Create a theme song for Lady Bird. Lady Bird,
Lady Bird does whatever a Lady Bird can.
Oh yeah, it's a superhero film. Greta Gerwig made her first superhero film.
Non-Marvel, but
yeah.
Heck, she's on her way.
No, seriously,
Woman with woman superpowers.
Then we'll play the trailer, and then we'll talk some stuff about it. It might be spoilery. It's hard to spoil Lady Bird, but it is pretty easy to spoil 3 Billboards. So,
she does turn into a bird at the end, I will say that.
Yeah, if we recommend those movies, you should go see them before you finish the episode. But wait, before that episode, the review, we'll talk about what we've been watching this week and some news and Blu-rays and some more news and what's going on around town and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, how you guys doing? Brad, how was the Mox and Docs thing last week?
You mean yesterday?
Hey, these people don't know.
Yeah, that they didn't know because I didn't post the Coco episode yet. So.
My mom's about a week behind, so she won't listen to this till next week. So I was right last week.
So last week at Mile High Mox and Docs, it was good. There's a lot of good documentaries, very few mockumentaries, and turnout was okay.
Cool
for a show that we scrapped together at the last minute and didn't promote very well.
Well, you promoted it here, and a lot of people went. Hundreds of people.
Yeah, my memory's crazy. It was sold out, like all the blocks. So sold out.
People had to go on the roof. That's how sold out.
What, are you challenging me? You can't prove anything.
Yeah. We installed like telescopes in the windows so people could watch from across the street.
That seems antithetical to making money for the theater.
You know, it's about getting your art out there, Brad. It's really about art.
Yeah, people had a lot of.
No, it isn't.
Trying to think of some like specific stuff. Like, obviously, there was like documentaries about gentrification in Fort Collins.
Gentrification in Fort Collins. I'm sorry. Is the small town, college town full of white kids getting like slightly larger and pushing the poor kids who weren't able to move out of Fort Collins out into the
I know you're making a joke,
outskirts?
but if you watch the documentary, you'd understand that there is a ethnic population to the north and south of Fort Collins, and they are being cast aside so that those white children can expand their presence for the college. And then I guess Fort Collins recently updated their slogan from like beer beer in music and bikes or something.
I hope it's beer, some music and bikes.
It's like, yeah, come to Fort Collins for beer, music, and bikes. They've added no
Beer, booze, and bikes.
They've added mayonnaise to the list.
I forget. It's 4 now. Anyway, the addition of music, the addition of music is controversial because the town is too expensive for most musicians to live there, and so they're piggybacking their identity off of something that you know, the most of the venues don't want to pay the musicians anything.
Oh, okay.
At all.
Sure.
Their payment is exposure.
Ah, that's bullshit.
And yet the town is claiming that they are a hub for popular music scene, and the musicians are obviously frustrated that they cannot live there and also not get paid to live there.
I love Fort Collins.
And they're not allowed to live together because there's a U2 rule.
That rule is some fucking
bullshit.
Dog shit.
What is this rule?
The U+2 rule went into action while I was there, which basically said that you can't have a household that has more than you and 2 other people in it unless you're a family. So it basically means that any household can only have 3 people living there unless you're a family, right? Which makes it really hard for people to like make the houses in Fort Collins affordable by just putting more roommates in the same room.
So in that situation, would Uncle Jesse and Joey be allowed in the house?
No,
because they're technically not. Yeah. Okay. So
no, they wouldn't be. Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
that's why Full House. So that's why Full House.
Yeah, I guess if the kids weren't there, then yes, then just Bob Saget, Jesse, and Joey could all be in the house. But as soon as the kids are there, it is now more than U+2, and therefore Jesse or Joey has to go.
Well, apparently Fort Collins.
Actually, probably both of them.
So then that's why it took place in San Francisco and not in Fort Collins.
Yeah.
Now we know. Little history for you.
Anyway, that's interesting.
Anyway, yeah, I was going to tell some more, but that was a long discussion on just one of them. So
yeah, let's not.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And then I also came back from LA.
Oh yeah, you went to LA. How was the trip? How was the 1-day trip to LA? Did you see anything cool? Did you get to meet Jean-Claude?
I did not get to meet Jean-Claude, but I did talk to Peter Tencio and Dave Callahan, the director and creator,
respectively.
Yep.
Of the
show.
Of Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
For 10 minutes. And either you're going to listen to that interview right now or check out the site throughout the week for the mini episode that I'll post.
If you don't hear it right now, it means that Brad decided to just make it its own episode.
Yeah.
The show is Jean-Claude Van Johnson, right?
Jean-Claude Van Johnson, yes.
What is that show about? For people who don't know.
It was an Amazon pilot about a year ago this time, and it got picked up, and then they extended it to 6 episodes of Jean-Claude Van Damme's career as an actor has secretly this whole time been a front for him being an international super spy.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he is kind of in the end of his career, and his makeup artist, he once had a thing with, and she's come back into his life, and so he's depressed about that because he really wants to be with her. And then meanwhile, he has to try and stop this like international cartel from. They have some plan I haven't really figured out yet. And they're going to destroy the world. Yeah. And so he has to stop that. Meanwhile, meanwhile he's on set all the time trying to do these action movies.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think one of the pieces of news this week that we weren't going to talk about is that Amazon's talking about not making their pilots public anymore, which would kind of be too bad. One of the fun things about Amazon shows right now is that you get to sort of like vote on what stuff is coming out. The first frustrating part of it is that you see a pilot for Jean-Claude Van Johnson and then you like it, and 2 years later you finally get the show.
Yeah.
But because that happened for me on Man in the High Castle, which might be why I never really got super sucked into Man in the High Castle, because I was really into it when I saw the pilot, and then 2 years later when the show came out, I was like, oh, this is really cool, and I got 4 episodes in, and I was like, I have other things to do now. But anyway, that's cool.
Yeah. So,
did you get an In-N-Out burger?
No, that's not a thing
that you give a shit about.
Yeah, I don't.
It's not that great.
Yeah, it's. I've heard from some people it's amazing, and I've tried many different foods, and often it's just it would have to be the most amazing thing to impress me, and then I guess we're getting one here anyway. So
yeah, we are.
It's no longer special. So.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I bet it tastes like a regular burger, so I don't care.
I've
had many opportunities to try it, and I've just ignored it because I don't care.
Yeah.
But no, I tried to cram as much as I could while I was there. I went to Grauman's, intending to finally watch a movie in the historic part of the theater.
In the Chinese theater, for people who don't realize.
The one that you've seen all the movie premieres at on Hollywood Boulevard over the years.
Isn't it TCL now?
It is TCL, and what I forgot is, since in the past 7 years, they've built 5 more mini extension theaters into that entire complex that they built next to the Dolby Theater.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So my Blade Runner 2049 ticket ended up in one of those and not the main theater. So that's still a bucket list thing to take care of. And what's kind of annoying is if I'd planned better, I should have spent that time trying to go to a 4DX show, which is something I can't do here.
Yeah.
So, but the only one I could make was the 6:45 Justice League, and my flight was at 10:40.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if I was going to make it.
Yeah.
No,
actually, I would have, because the flight was delayed twice. We switched planes twice. So if I probably could have made it, but I didn't know that.
That's ruthless.
And what else did I do? Oh, I went to this Star Wars cantina.
Oh, cool.
Called the Scum and Villainy Cantina. Now, it's not a Star Wars cantina. They can't say that.
Is it like a pop-up bar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't really. It kind of has a sign out front, but it's very much like a hole in the wall. As you're walking, you'd have to notice it. But inside it's super cool. It looks like a Tatooine cantina, and they have great drinks. Amazing for a guy who doesn't like drinking.
Yeah.
I tried the blue milk, and it's pretty good. And then there's a Grabthar's Hammer drink, which was a vodka-based thing. That was pretty good. And then they had some other things that I just didn't try because I was in a hurry.
So funny story about that pop-up bar is that I listened to the Half Hour Happy Hour with Alex Albrecht and Allison Hayslip, and they got tickets to that right when it opened, and they were super excited, and there was all this promotion and lead up, and when it opened, it was just a shitty bar with some Star Wars stuff on it, but no one was dressed up. They were playing club music instead of cantina music.
Yeah.
It was totally fucked up and wrong. And they complained about it for probably 2 more episodes. And then a month later, they got word that bar had actually done it right and changed all the stuff that made people hate it. And then now it was super awesome.
Yeah.
So when that thing opened, apparently it was dog shit. But glad to hear it's cool.
Well, when I was there, I didn't really notice it at the time until someone else pointed out to me, but they weren't doing cantina music, and they should have, but it was 80s tunes, so
sure,
close enough.
Yeah. At least nostalgic.
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, it's the same bar that Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin do their Fat Man on Batman in now.
Oh, okay.
But they weren't there that day.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah. So that was most of my time.
Okay.
That was cool. It was the first time I felt like I could exist there.
You mean in L.A.?
Yeah, that I could
Interesting.
tolerate being there for more than a vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, I also went up to Griffith Park trying to find the spot that they shot the La La Land poster where they're dancing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Obviously, the light pole was added by them, but I tried to find that location, and it's closed off to the peasants.
Aww.
So,
yeah,
that's terrible.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So,
did you go up to the observatory?
I think I've been there many times, so I didn't go all the way there. But I found the road that leads up to where it's supposed to be,
Right.
And then there's like a big sign that says like only private people allowed. And I was like, fuck it, I'm walking it. And then I walked like, I don't know, a mile and then said like, this is stupid. I'll go back.
You should have danced it.
Yeah.
Is the problem.
I know, I would have got there faster.
Yeah, and they would have let you in.
Yep.
If they see happy people dancing, nobody stops you. So that's cool. Yeah, I was out there this summer and did some of those things. So that's fun. Cool. While you're rambling about things, what's going on around town, Brad?
Hey, film buddies, follow me around Denver.
I don't know. I only know what's going on in LA anymore. Just kidding. Well, at the Esquire, since The Disaster Artist is coming out next week, The Room is every week in December. Including this one.
Oh, that's cool. That's not a bad idea.
That's great. But specifically for December 8th and 9th, they are showing In Bruges.
Ooh,
nice.
So
topical.
I guess they're retiring Rocky Horror Picture Show for a little bit while The Room plays out the other half.
Yeah.
And then at the Bug Theater on Friday, December 8th, they are showing Die Hard.
Cool.
But it's a drinking game, so
What?
I guess they're going to give you some things that are common in the movie, and you will drink to them.
Every time he steps on something sharp, you drink.
Yep. Yep, that sounds like something they do.
Every time somebody gets
take a
shot. Every time somebody falls out a window, you finish your drink.
Every time a gun goes off, drink.
Every time John McClane talks to himself, take a drink.
Every time a superior officer doesn't trust that the one cop who's down there talking to John McClane the whole time, you take a drink.
Every time a cop claims jurisdiction, take a drink.
Every time Alan Rickman makes fun of Bruce Willis for being American, take a drink.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Every time Alan Rickman changes his accent, take a drink.
Every time you go, oh, Alan Rickman, you take a drink.
Every time Alan Rickman says something slow, take a drink. You'll be blitzed.
And then Saturday, December 9th, is another version of the Denver's Nickel and Dime Animation Festival. This one is to benefit the Bug Theater itself.
Cool.
So proceeds, and that's like a world-class animation thing. So there's shorts from all over the world that
awesome.
Michael Scott has put together, and that's 7. Both those things are 7 p.m. But the animation festival is $10, and Die Hard is $15. So
cool.
And I think Die Hard comes with at least one drink. Doesn't say. Don't quote me on that.
Okay, you aren't being quoted.
And that is what's going on around town.
Cool. We like seeing movies at the Alamo. Yes, we do. We like seeing Alamos. How about you?
Hello.
Hi, I'm Kevin Smith.
Hi, I'm Leonard Maltin.
Hi, I'm Mark Hamill.
Hi, I'm Elijah Wood.
This is Seth Rogen.
I'm Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
I'm Martin Starr.
Welcome to the Alamo Draft House.
I thought your technique could have been better.
This week, wow. Bradley Haig.
You trying to do a trombone there?
Does that sound like on the...
Well, the gurgling of the straw is a little quiet, but the pulling of the straw was very loud. I think if you blew bubbles, it would be audible.
I can't. The cane's ice is so dense that
Yeah,
there's nowhere for anything to move.
Yeah, it's that sonic ice. Yeah. Anyway, this week at the Alamo, they're transitioning into a lot of Christmas stuff. So on Friday the 8th at the Littleton Alamo, you can see It's a Wonderful Life, which is fantastic. If you've never seen it, because you're un-American or
whoa. I'm American.
Oh yeah, you've never seen it.
James
It's really good. Man,
That's what I've heard. Fuck.
It's not my money. It's
Mary,
You want the moon, Mary?
don't you know me?
Just let me know. I'll throw a lasso around it.
Saturday the 9th is the Elf movie party. And then the Gremlins Rule Breakers movie party.
I do want to do that.
And then the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation movie party, which is awesome. I love that movie. At the Sillins Lake location. On this week, they're getting, by the way, they're getting Disaster Artist this week, and they're also getting My Friend Dahmer this week. So if you want to see either of those at either of the Alamos, go right ahead.
So they are expanding it then.
Yeah.
Cool.
A Christmas Story is playing on the 7th at the Sloan's Lake location. They're also showing Gremlins there on the 8th. And then they're showing Elf and National Lampoon's Vacation on the 9th. So you can check that out. So yeah, that's everything at the Alamo. I'm sure there's more stuff next week.
So before we proceed, so obviously my failed bit at the beginning of it, but I got you guys Christmas gifts.
I'm so rude.
So it'd be much more fun if Ryan was here, because like I try to get gifts each themed to something you guys like in life. But we'll do Ryan's another time. But so go ahead and open them. Merry Christmas, guys.
It's not Legos, because when I shake it, it doesn't make a Lego sound.
Exactly.
Darn it, Zach. I didn't get you anything.
That's okay.
I'm not getting
You
Zach
give me
anything.
shit all year.
That's true. I do give you shit all year. You don't have the Indiana Jones thing?
Still opening.
This is a really fancy version of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull
I have that
On
version.
Blu-ray.
It's got a book in it.
on Blu-ray. Ooh, it's got a book in it. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's for the Target version.
Yeah,
Man.
I found it at I found these gifts at my work. So
Yeah.
keep in mind.
So
That's why this one's
they were
broken.
somebody else's.
They were. Yeah. I don't know how much piss and semen is on them yet, but you know.
Oh,
I like the pictures.
an entire thing of piss and semen. Thank you.
This is a great gift I'm never going to use, Zach. What'd you get?
Star Trek V. I guess the movie, but
No,
adapted by
it's-
James Blish.
Nope, it's not. I checked it in there. It's actually this is the spin-off novels they wrote before the first movie even came out.
Wow.
So this is actually a 1977 reprint of a 1971 book. It's not a
Weird.
first edition.
Mutiny aboard the Enterprise. The entire crew was deserting, hurrying down to the planet that had been declared deadly to human life. Uhura had short-circuited all communications to Starfleet Command. McCoy was getting blissfully drunk on mint juleps. And Spock, ... Spock had fallen passionately in love.
I read that. I'm like, God,
Wow.
I want to know what the full story is so bad.
Based on the exciting television series created by Gene Roddenberry.
This week on Brad reads Star Trek novels.
The sad part is Zach doesn't understand that I don't read. I mean, this is pretty short. I probably 136 pages.
I thought if nothing else, it'd be cool to just display on the wall and whatnot. Like you could put it as the one book on your shelf, you know.
You know, what I was impressed by is like we had these like family friends back when I was a kid, and their oldest.
And they gave you better gifts.
No, their oldest was a huge Star Trek fan, and like his room was like all these novelizations, just like all across his wall. He had all the models made. I was impressed. Like I aspired to that.
Yeah, they had this. They had 3 books of this kind of nature. So they had that, and they had 2 Han Solo books. The Han Solo ones were first editions, and they were $50 each at our store because someone found out the value of them.
Fuckers.
Yeah, this one was like 20, and I had vouchers, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll get this one." But yeah, and then I don't know why that that disc thing falls off.
Oh, that's fine. I'll fix
You
it.
could just put glue on it and whatnot. But
I'm just looking through all of these pictures and
I
remembering how cool this movie should be.
I really
Son of a bitch.
I really regret not putting a note in there that said, "Dear James, I heard you like my shit. Love Spielberg."
Oh, look, here's a really great picture of Harrison Ford in a fridge. Like, just awkwardly squeezed into this fridge, like, the fuck am I supposed to do?
So this is like an
I'm not a goddamn
episode of the
replicant.
show that he's turned into a book.
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah,
Oh, it's an episode of the... Oh, is it the 5th episode turned into a novel?
I guess so. It's called because the title sounds familiar. Whom Gods Destroy. I'm pretty sure that is an episode of
Yeah.
the,
It is an
If not, it
episode.
sounds like one, yeah.
I just like the way to describe it to get people interested in reading it.
Yeah.
Spock falls passionately in love.
Aw. The best Indiana Jones thing that happened on the set of this movie was just this cute picture of Kate Capshaw with her husband. That's great. Aw.
And then George Lucas is in the background going like, "Hey guys, I'm here too."
My divorce caused your marriage.
It would be better, Spock said, if you were to return to the Enterprise at once. Why? Kirk asked in astonishment. Your safety is vital to the ship. I can take charge of the security detail. I see, Kirk said. Very well, Spock. Mr. Scott, beam me aboard. On receipt of the countersign. Aye, sir.
That's how long
The
you could
engineer
get.
said. Queen to Queen's level 3.
Oh no! Oh no! Your Russian accent is.
Is that Russian? I was trying to do Scottish.
And that's why Putin hates
Oh, that
us.
was supposed to be Scott. Oh, I thought that was supposed to be.
Mr. Spock, give me the countersign. Kirk Lovelace phaser.
Wow.
This
is pretty great.
Idea for a spin-off show is Brad reads these pocketbook
Guys,
science fiction
We're
novels.
having a hard enough time keeping one podcast on the rails.
That's true.
Making a second one is probably a bad
Anyway,
idea.
so sorry to derail, but
no, you're good. This
start
was
the
great.
holidays
Thank
off.
you.
I don't know what my availability on the show is going to be like within the next 2 weeks due to surgery. So
Wait. I think these are 5 separate stories collected because
Star Trek.
the next chapter
5.
has a new title and then like 2 credit. They like to say what they're credited for, but I assume they're writers.
On the front cover, what are the words directly under the number 5? Does it say 5 stories?
No, it just says Star Trek V, adapted by James Blish. More thrilling adventures from the prize-winning television series created by Gene Roddenberry. ****.
Weird.
Yeah, the Tholian Web. That sounds like a title from the show.
That definitely sounds like a title from a show.
Let That Be Your Last Battlefield. It's weird, though, because they're all like 6 pages. That even a half-hour show should be longer.
It should have pictures inside of it the way that like the novelization of Kazam did. You know, like in the middle where there's like 10 glossy
This Side of
color
Paradise,
pages.
Nathaniel Butler and D.C.
Oh,
Fontana.
yeah. Yes. Okay. He's just making scripts out of episodes.
He's prose out of.
Well, prose out of, yeah.
Yep. Turnabout Intruder, Gene Roddenberry, and Arthur
Gene
Singer.
Barry.
Gene Berries.
That's my
Gene
favorite
Berries.
Captain Crunch spinoff is Gene
Yeah.
Berries.
Cool. Okay.
Is anyone still listening?
No.
No.
All right.
That was a segment called Zach's Gift Giving. It failed miserably. It won't be picked up for a new season.
How about news time?
It's real news.
How about nose? Just kidding.
Do you want to start with the fun thing, or do you want to start with all the other shit and then save the fun thing for last?
If there's only one fun thing, let's just get it out of the way before we get too depressed to even want to do it.
Hey, did you guys see that Avengers trailer? Because shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's.
Mm-hmm.
Although
There's a
Thanos
lot in the
looks
trailer.
less threatening as just a bald dude wearing
He does.
like an Under Armour shirt.
Yeah. I wish he had like the helmet.
Are we playing the trailer?
Oh, sure, we can play the trailer.
Why? Everyone saw it.
Oh yeah, we don't need to play the trailer. I'll just watch the trailer again.
Fuck it. Here's the trailer.
Okay.
There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people to see if we could become something more. So when they needed us, we could fight the battles
that they never could.
In time, you will know what it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail all the same. Dread it. Run from it. Destiny still arrives.
Evacuate the city. Engage all defenses. And get this man a shield.
Fun isn't something one considers when balancing the universe. But this does put a smile on my face.
No, I agree with you. It was like my first thought when watching that trailer was like he stepped out, and I was like, well, he looks a little bit better than Mr. Ooze from the Justice League movie, and obviously the CG's not done yet, and he doesn't look as bad.
I think his CGI is pretty good.
Yeah,
like, it looks like
he's
Josh Brolin in makeup.
It looks like Josh Brolin with a big liney chin.
Yeah.
I wish he had the helmet. Like, I wish he had a cool, and maybe he'll get one, right?
Yeah.
But I would agree with you. He's not
intimidating. He looks like just a dude.
But all of the shit happening around him is what's awesome.
I heard he moves a planet into another planet, so like
what the
that's badass.
Oh, that's cool.
With the gauntlet, but still, it's like I don't see that in a trailer. So if I'm just an average Joe being like, why are they afraid of this guy?
But in a, we've spent 18 films building up to this, and so I think they've built everything properly. And the cool thing is they're not even like trying to set anything up. They're assuming like, look, you've seen at least 2 Guardians movies, so you probably understand this guy is a shitty guy, and we spent all this time setting this up, so you understand this is going to be like the big fight. It's you do lose a little something because of Civil War. We've already seen like how cool it is when you get all the superheroes in one place, but I think still pretty badass. And then like the fact that it's gonna have a giant land war battle sequence in it is pretty ridiculous. Where you get those shots of like everybody running out of the woods. Yeah, I don't know. It looks cool.
I love the almost like not more than 4 hours after the trailer dropped, we got all the memes.
Yeah,
my favorite one is with Chitala, where he's saying it's in the trailer. It's get this man a shield. The other one has a picture of Spider-Man, and then it turns to get this man an uncle. And then there's one that has the picture of Spider-Man's landlord from Spider-Man's 1 and 2 and 3, and it says get this man his rent. And then the other one is Thanos does look a little bit like Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Oh,
purple Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. The truth is, I think he does look pretty badass. Watching him drop the gem into the gauntlet is pretty cool. And then when he like smacks the shit out of Iron Man and Iron Man goes down like a rag doll, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like that shot alone, you're like, oh shit.
And then who the hell are you guys?
Yeah, right. And then the Guardians show up and you're like, oh yeah, with a teenage Groot.
Yep. And then, for all you guys who were freaking out on the internet, Thor's eye is not there. So.
Oh yeah, people are just dumb. Because of those Variety, it was Variety or Vanity Fair covers where like he had the hammer and he had his eyes. And I was like, okay, everybody freaked out. I'm like, guys, they shot those photos like 6 months ago. You realize that, right? Like,
they don't want to spoil
4.
that stuff.
Yeah, like, come on, everybody, just calm down. They're not.
Plus, they usually don't do special effects in like publicity photographs.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And Steve Rogers doesn't have his beard because he shaved it because he has a job. Like, come on.
He's not really.
He's not actually homeless in real life. Yeah.
He's not actually living in
right.
Wakanda.
Right.
On the hideout.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks pretty awesome. I'm excited. That was a fun thing. I watched it like 4 times that day just because it's just cool looking.
I found a way to turn it into a loop and fell asleep to it.
Yeah.
Like, those like quit smoking tapes or learn Spanish in your sleep tapes?
Yeah.
I had an Avengers Infinity War tape.
So we're pretty sure that they're going to kill Vision, right? Like, Vision's got to die.
Vision?
Yeah. Because they have to rip the gem out of his forehead.
Does that kill him? Or does that just take away his
powers? I
powers?
don't know. I guess if he's just a robot with powers because of the gem, then maybe he's just a robot after you pull the gem out.
I'm wondering if you assemble 3 of the gems, you're able to make a connection with Darkseid. Sorry, that's not the same movie.
You need a mother box on top of it.
If you squeeze the 3 gems together,
they create a mother box.
Then Superman has to push them apart. Yeah. Actually, I think at one point they have to go to a small pool in Tahiti with one of the gems, and then they put the gem in the pool, and
that's how they resurrect Vision.
No, that's how they resurrect. What's his name? The Shield agent from the first Avengers that everybody loved. Now I can't remember. Coulson. That's how they bring Coulson back to life, and everything goes back to normal.
Mm-hmm. And then Coulson loses his mind and tries to attack all the Avengers.
Yes. In other good news, Stranger Things got its 3rd season greenlit, and no one was surprised ever. Mindhunter also got its 2nd season greenlit, which is great because that show's cool.
Yeah.
And then Brian Fuller and Michael Green left American Gods, so season 2 no longer has showrunners.
Does Brian Fuller just like to leave things?
Apparently.
He's like, yeah, I had fun with you, girl. Now I'm gonna go on to this other girl.
Yeah, it's funny when he's given like complete reign to do whatever crazy shit he wants. He makes awesome shit, and then whenever anything's not great, then he tends to leave.
I've heard American Gods is really good though. So.
I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, maybe it is. I don't know.
He gave Discovery to do that, and I was like, yeah, still don't want to do that.
Yeah,
he wants to do more Hannibal. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah,
and he should.
No, hold on. Can I avoid sad news for a little while?
Sure.
I could leave sad news. Denis Villeneuve wants to do a Star Wars movie. Let him do whatever the fuck he wants. And Guillermo del Toro almost did all the Dark Universe movies, which would have been fucking awesome.
But you know why we don't get it? Because we don't deserve nice things.
So that news came out the same day that I think the same day that or a couple days after or a couple days before Zach and I went and saw Lady Bird. Man, that was a really hard sentence to get out.
And they showed a new trailer.
And they were showing that trailer for Shape of Water, and I was like, oh shit. Shape of Water is really just his like Creature from the Black Lagoon movie. Which I super wish it was now.
When is that coming out?
December 21st for us.
Yeah.
So that may be the last thing we see this year?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, maybe that's the movie we see after Star Wars.
Yep.
I mean, there's a few things in that last little block of, stuff that we'll just sort of want to mop up before we do our
watch
top
Hugh
10.
Jackman sing.
Yeah, I guess we should talk. Well, hold on. Let me get the sad news out of the way, and then we'll talk about end of the year stuff. Bryan Singer was fired from Queen, the Queen biopic.
Another one bites dust.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Apparently for sort of not showing up to work, and maybe this is a thing he's been doing for a while on certain films.
Did it on Superman Returns, and he did it on X-Men Apocalypse, according to the report.
So that's weird. Yeah.
But he was all there for Days of Future Past?
Well, that was right after Jack of the Giant Killer, and he probably was like, hey, I should actually work for this one because otherwise my career might just stop. So that's too bad, I guess. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about Bryan Singer because while I want to just do what I'm supposed to and not judge him for the fact that all allegations against him were settled out of court, I also don't feel great about it. And yeah. Anyway. John Lasseter. So a bunch more details came out about John Lasseter this week, including some snippets of people who worked with him and basically said like, nah, man, it wasn't just like awkward hugs and stuff like that. He was definitely doing things he wasn't supposed to do. Wasn't like, yeah, just it's bad enough that they're starting to say or suspect that that Disney knew enough about it and was actually like sending escorts with him to certain events to make sure that he behaved himself, which is never a great sign. Yep. So the truth is, at this point, maybe he shouldn't come back, which is a huge and terrible blow to Pixar and Disney Animation. I think if you rolled back the tape on our podcast, there's a number of times we have said that Lasseter's reign at Disney has been the best thing to happen to Disney Animation. It's really a shame. But, again, goes to show you, like, hey, did you need to behave yourself? And clearly this is a pretty widespread and terrible problem that's been going on. So anyway, that sucks. And that's really all we can say. Yeah. I don't know how you salvaged that studio. I will definitely say that if he comes back and Disney doesn't do anything about it, I will find myself in an ethically challenged position. But we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Yep.
I would say that so far no one has sort of gone unscathed with this whole waterfall of allegations as far as I have seen. So I wouldn't expect that a 6-month, go home demand will be all that happens to him at this point. Now that more stuff is coming out. Just because you wonder, like, okay, is anybody even going to want to work with the guy? And the truth is, as much as we love what they've done over the past few years, he wasn't the only person doing that. And it sounds like there were a lot of people who their voices were not being heard or didn't feel like they had that they were safe enough to voice their opinions on certain stuff. So it could be that things actually get better with him not there. Like, we actually have no way of knowing.
He's really just been in charge of Disney animation for like the past, 10 years.
Yeah. It started everything on the Disney side is like basically since Princess and the Frog, I think. Ryan would really be the one to know, but
yeah. But like Pixar's kind of been doing stuff without him, so
yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
But technically
he still oversees, but he's not like
he's not the creative head there. No. But there was a really interesting article on /film that people should go check out. That I should have had pulled up, and I think I did, but I just closed it. About sort of going back and reanalyzing the story of Brave in this context. Like, now that we understand these things about John Lasseter, like, what does that say about, there was all that sort of kerfuffle where there was a woman who was directing, and I don't remember her name now, which is terrible. There was a woman who was directing Brave, and then she basically got fired off of the film about halfway through, and they hodgepodged a bunch of stuff back together, and so that movie was never quite what it was supposed to be. And I still like Brave, but like there was a maybe better version of that film.
As Alex Sullivan is quoted as saying, "Brave, it suck ass."
Man, I don't remember that.
Yeah?
No. Was that in one of his tweets?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, yes, I do remember that.
Guys, go back and listen to the show like I did. God.
Yeah. That's funny. Brave is suck ass.
It suck ass.
Yeah. So some people think that Brave suck ass. But anyway, if you go back and look at some of the coded language that she was using after she left, and sort of, in leaving said the right things about, creative differences and stuff like that. And then when asked about it a few months later, once it had sort of died down, basically said, like, no, I would never go back and work there again. Like, I made the right decision. I don't work well with the leadership there. And like, when you sort of maybe read into some of those things, and sure, you're recontextualizing it a lot, but it may be that there were some warning signs there. And again, maybe there were really great artists there who had really cool visions that just weren't comfortable working in that studio with him, which is really a shame, because I liked him. But now I don't. Just as we sit here, I just saw the headline, Quentin Tarantino's Star Trek movie in the works, and we're not making this up.
I had Quentin Tarantino news this week, but that's not it at all.
What was your thing? I'll read this crazy shit while... No. I'll read this crazy shit while you talk and ramble and people fast forward.
Quentin's movie about 1969 is getting a release date for August of 2019, and it's the 50th anniversary of the Sharon Tate murder. So Sony's really working with him in regards to the content of the film, it seems like, because... that's supposedly when like the idealism of the 60s dies, is with the Sharon Tate murders. So, according to some who write books about the decade. So you'll be getting your next Quentin Tarantino fix August 5th, 2019. I'll be there.
I wasn't listening to you. Deadline has a breaking story that claims that Quentin Tarantino, the acclaimed filmmaker behind Kill Bill, blah, 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 might be beaming up to the Star Trek franchise. Per Deadline, Tarantino pitched an idea for a new Star Trek film to Star Trek reboot director and producer J.J. Abrams, and the idea was such a hit that Paramount is going to assemble a writer's room to hash out Tarantino's idea. Deadline says that if the idea works out, Tarantino might direct the film himself, with Abrams producing.
Okay,
I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with that too, but
I'm okay with this a lot.
I guess I'm glad that Abrams was able to hear Quentin's criticisms of Into Darkness and take it with stride, because he was openly critical about it on the Nerdist podcast a couple years back. So, but that sounds cool. I'd be down for Quentin doing Star Trek.
With this, Kirk stepped forward and slapped the lid of Spock twice, hard. With a roar, Spock swung out at him. Kirk leaped back out of his way, raising the bar of metal between his hands to parry the blow. It was not much of a fight. Kirk was solely concerned with getting and keeping out of the way, while Spock was striking out with killing force, and with all the science of his once warrior race. There could only be one ending. Kirk was deprived of the metal bar at the third onslaught, and finally took a backhand which knocked him to the floor against the far wall. Spock, his face contorted, snatched up a stool and lifted it over his head. Kirk looked up at him and grinned ruefully. "All right, Mr. Spock, had enough?"
Bam.
And then Spock said, "Get your hands from around my neck." That was awesome. Good timing, Brad.
Oh my god. Christoph Waltz as Khan.
Pam Grier as Lieutenant Uhura.
There we go.
Cool. Blu-rays.
Perfect. Get me the video cassette of Spaceballs the movie.
Have you seen this?
But there's been a new breakthrough in home video market. Instant cassettes. They're out in stores before the movie is finished.
Okay, this one, you have to check this out sometime. I can't even... Just promise me you'll rent it.
Sir.
What?
Are either one of these any good?
I don't watch movies.
Not much too early. Prepare to fast forward.
Preparing to fast forward.
Fast forward.
Fast forwarding, sir.
Well, this is the last time I rent here.
You'll be missed.
Screw you!
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Despicable Me 3 is out on 4K this week, so you can claw your own eyes out at home. American Assassin is on 4K this week, which is that
Michael Keaton
movie that
Dylan
I actually heard was good, so I might check this out. I like an assassin movie where people have guns and shoot at each other.
Do you like assassins who are American?
I like assassins no matter what race or creed or nationality.
Oh, I was speaking more towards the title. But
I mean, unless they're assassins of Americans. That's the only kind of assassin I don't like.
Okay, well, there you go.
Which may be the kind of assassin this is. If it's an American assassin, they might just assassinate Americans.
They're going to play on your emotions.
Oh, my goodness. Guardians is out on Blu-ray this week from Shout Factory, actually, which I didn't notice until I clicked on this. Guardians is the Russian answer to the Avengers, basically.
They have a Wolfman in their group, don't they?
I believe he's a bear, sir.
Okay, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's a creature with a snot nose.
Oh, no, it matters. It's a Russian film. It's definitely a bear wolf, or yes. a werebear. So there's a guy who's
Hulk, we have bear.
There's a guy who turns into a bear. There's basically Whiplash from Iron Man 2. The Prince of Persia with his crazy swords is in the movie. There's a guy with, I think, a laser gun for an arm, and then there's a sexy lady with long hair. And they're the Guardians, and they're here to save the Earth, or something. I really want to see this movie. Basically, like, during the Cold War, the story is that, like, during the Cold War, the Russians were experimenting on, like, superhero stuff, and they built this
Guardians,
team called Patriot. No, they're not called the Guardians. They just are Guardians, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so check out Guardians if you can. Twin Peaks, a limited event series.
Oh, the return, yeah.
Yeah, it's the Netflix show.
I heard everyone was so happy with
Showtime.
Was it Showtime?
Yeah, it was Showtime.
Oh, that's right, it was Showtime. Doesn't matter, I didn't watch it.
I heard everybody was happy with the second to last episode, and then the last episode pissed everyone off, so I haven't watched it yet. I will get to it eventually.
The opposite of is true of Men in Black, the trilogy.
I will watch it again.
No one was happy with the second to last episode, and the last episode was okay.
Yeah, it was just fine. I mean, I'll still watch the second one.
Yeah,
but I won't. It'll be like the thing I work on other things on while watching it.
I didn't really finish the sentence. This is on 4K, so you can get 4K editions of all the Men in Black movies. Honestly, this is probably worth it just for the first one, because the first one is an amazing movie no matter what Ryan says. Speaking of things that hold up, no. Jumanji doesn't hold up well at all, but it's still cool, and I'm sure 4K will do it no favors. But still, this week you can get Robin Williams' Jumanji on 4K. That movie's really great. Here's the thing. This should be a thing, and I don't know why it's not. There should be a thing where people go back and redo the CG on movies from the 90s and early 2000s to make the CG better, so that we can watch those movies again. Like, if you went back and touched up Jumanji and made the monkeys not the fucking worst thing ever, and then just re-released Jumanji, it would be a great movie.
I have a friend I want you to meet in the San Fernando Valley. His name
No.
is George Lucas.
No. This is different.
You are peeing on the work of all those artists from the 90s.
Yeah.
They were doing the best they could with what they had. The difference is George Lucas made something great and then made it worse.
James, come with me to the dark side.
Jumanji was great in 1993 or 1995, whenever that movie was. 1995. It was fun. It didn't look great, but you didn't give a shit. And then now you watch it and you're like, oh, this hurts. Like,
James, I was saying the same
just
thing.
think
in
about
1989.
it. No, he pissed on something great. I'm taking something that no one wants to watch anymore and making it watchable.
James, come into my basement. I've made ice cream and we can watch movies together.
I don't like your basement. You're not my uncle. Speaking of shit with great CGI that's really bad, Transformers, the whole first quadrilogy, is out on 4K this week, so you can replace your... but I think only the first 4 are out this week, which is weird, because I think the 5th one released on 4K.
I would like the first and the 4th one, and that's it.
You picked poorly. All of them are on 4K this week, so you can even watch the racism of Dark of the Moon.
No, Revenge of the Fallen is the racist one, right?
No, Dark of the Moon is the super racist one.
I thought Revenge of the Fallen had like the two. Like...
Oh, sorry, no, yeah, you're right. I opened these in the wrong order. Yeah,
sorry.
Revenge of the Fallen is the second one.
Yeah,
and the second one is the racist one.
Yeah.
Dark of the Moon is the one with all the space shit.
The Dark of the Moon is the one that insults the NASA program.
But Dark of the Moon, the beginning of Dark of the Moon has that awesome space sequence that makes me want Michael Bay to make a space movie. Yeah.
And then they had to drag in an American hero to legitimize this franchise.
And then they fucked it up with Marky Mark and dinosaurs. Anyway, Split is getting a Steelbook edition this week at Best Buy with a better cover than any of the posters for that movie ever were.
Sure.
It's cool because he's
spend your money on it.
Yeah,
again.
he's like standing there, and then his shadows are all the different versions. Like he's got 4 different shadows, and it's the 4 different people.
Cool.
And one of them's a monster, which is a cool cover. There are a bunch of releases of South Park on Blu-ray. Has South Park never been on Blu-ray? Is this the first time? Okay, cool.
Well, the original seasons, they started doing Blu-ray like season 18, 19.
Oh, okay. Well, it looked like 1 through maybe 6 or 7 were out this week.
I
so
think they're restoring the original ones.
Yeah. So if you're a big fan of South Park and you want to upgrade, or you don't own it and you feel like now is the time, you can start your collection with the Blu-ray versions.
But they're $30 each.
But they're $30 each.
I can get them on DVD. I'll be fine with that.
Yep. That show, I don't know that 4K is going to help too much.
It's not 4K.
The movie on Bluray looks great.
Sorry, no, yeah.
The
Blu-ray.
movie on Blu-ray looks
great.
great.
I would bet actually.
But
upgrading from DVD to Blu-ray might be worth it just enough. But yeah,
I don't know. I still get the DVDs and they still look great. So
they're probably fine.
Yeah.
Best Buy is also going to have a Steelbook edition of Fury. Put a pin in that one because I'm going to talk about it later. Code of Silence from Kino, which is a Chuck Norris movie where he stands in front of a golden light and holds a shotgun. That seems like
sounds like something he does every Friday.
And then very, very, very last from Shout Factory, the collector's edition of Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah.
He knows when you've been naughty. This is a movie where a young-faced boy dresses up like Santa Claus and murders a pile of corpses, based on this poster here.
I mean, Ryan's talked about it, and I should watch it again and talk about it. But it's a fun flick.
One of these corpses has an arrow in it. Does someone get killed with a bow and arrow in this movie?
Yes.
My!
This film's notorious in a weird way for it got picketed in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
And
for taking the Christ out of Christmas?
No, for they were like, how dare they make Santa a murderous figure? Blah blah blah.
How dare they make an imaginary creature a murder? Really?
It's a bunch of parents, no matter who they are. It's just a bunch of parents having something stuck up their ass. But and then Roger Ebert did some kind of thing on it where he railed against it, but he railed against everything.
Probably because it was bad.
No, he railed against everything that wasn't Ingmar Bergman or Werner Herzog. I'm just kidding.
Fair.
No. He did not like, I will tell you right now, Roger Ebert did not like Night of the Living Dead. And,
Well, he's wrong.
and continued to defend his review of it till the day he died.
Oh, really?
Yep, he never revisited it.
Oh, man.
At least Leonard Maltin does that because Leonard Maltin's a badass.
Well, no.
He
Ebert did that too because he went back and rewrote his Groundhog's Day review. Like 20 years after Groundhog's Day, he re-reviewed Groundhog's Day because he realized much later that was one of the most brilliant films of the century.
That's cool. No Night of the Living Dead, though.
No, I'm saying he should have done that too. But
he just hates violence.
He also hated video games.
Yeah.
So, fuck him.
But he loved
anyway,
Grizzly Man.
No, I'm just kidding. Not really. Fuck him. I'm sorry he's dead. No one talks about film the way he did.
Jeez,
but he was also wrong.
I didn't even wish he was dead. I just said he was an asshole.
Anyway, that is all the Blu-ray releases this week.
Nope.
What?
You
What I missed?
seriously left out Simpsons season, I don't know, 15, 16?
Oh, dude, I never click on that shit. Who gives a fuck? Like, really? Hold on. Let me scroll all the way
Fans
to
have
the
been waiting,
bottom.
like 10 years for another Simpsons on DVD release.
Let me scroll all the way to the bottom of the Blu-ray.com list
It's got
here.
Fat Tony on it. That'll help you.
I don't even see it. Is it only on DVD?
Yeah.
Oh, then it's not on Blu-ray.com. I don't have time for your plebeian shit.
Go back to digital bits, fool.
No, because they always fuck it up.
I hate it when Mom and Dad
no one's
fight.
100%. No one's perfect. It happens.
No, they were getting real bad there for a while. That's why I switched. All right, well, everybody who's listening at home, the reason why we're just dragging the show on right now is because Brad really wants me to read out the name of the Simpsons season.
Ryan, come
You
back.
mean you didn't have any problems, Kirk said? With slight but visible incredulity? None worth reporting, Captain, Spock said.
Oh, I should have never given him a toy.
Let me be the judge of that.
Shut up, I'm listening.
Only such minor disturbances, Captain, are as inevitable when humans are involved. Or involved with Vulcans, McCoy said. Understood, gentlemen. I hope my last orders were helpful in solving the problems not worth reporting. Orders, Captain? Spock said. The orders I left for you. For both of you, on tape. Oh, those orders, said McCoy. There wasn't time, Captain. We never got a chance to listen to them. The crisis was upon us, and then that passed so quickly, Captain, that... I see, Kirk said, smiling. Nothing worth reporting happened, and it all happened so quickly. Good. Well, let's hope there will be no more similar opportunity to test those orders that you never heard. Let's get to work.
Brad, you're right. I'm sorry. I actually missed two things that are on DVD this week. So yeah, Simpsons the season 18 is what it's called on Amazon.
18.
Yeah, season 18 of The Simpsons is on DVD this week, and also Amazon Video if you want to just own it digitally and never have to care again. It's got Fat Tony on it because that's how many characters in they are.
There's plenty to go.
But you know, there was something else that I missed because you're right. I gotta go back and watch those DVD releases. Santa Stole Our Dog, starring Ed Asner, is out on DVD this week. That's a film where Santa apparently steals some kid's dog.
Your dog has spunk. I
Ed,
hate spunk.
Ed Asner.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ed Asner stars as Santa Claus in this heartwarming holiday adventure for the whole family.
Play the dog.
On a snowy Christmas Eve, the Whitehavens, which is the richest, whitest name I've ever heard, beloved family dog,
town.
Rusty, goes missing. Could Santa have taken him? Follow the Whitehavens on an exciting adventure to the magical North Pole to get Rusty back as the enchanting holiday delight featuring original songs by Dolly Parton, John Schneider, and Lieber Stoller.
In this story, Santa's the one who's naughty.
Wow. Yep. Gotta make sure I follow those DVD sales. I think the title on this DVD is out of focus. Like, I think the text on this DVD is out of focus. Anyway.
Santa does look suspicious on the cover. Like,
Yeah.
he's got that side look. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, yeah, I stole your dog.
He looks like he was painted to be in a, like, free calendar that you pick up, you know, from like an insurance company.
God.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Anyway, that's all the Blu-rays and DVDs for this week. Thanks.
Yep.
Here's some stuff we've been watching.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Zach, what have you been watching?
Watched a couple things this week. You guys watched The House the past 2 weeks? Like, I think
House?
Ryan watched it 2 weeks ago.
The House.
And you watched it a week ago. So literally after we finished recording last week, I decided to watch it. So I got it on Amazon. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Farrell and Poehler are fun enough. I mean, you're right. Mantzoukas is the reason to watch the film.
Yep.
Jason Mantzoukas. I mean, if everybody doesn't know the story of the film by now, it's two parents trying to put their kid through college. They open up a casino in their friend's house, and shit goes crazy, and a lot of Martin Scorsese films are homaged.
It starts, I will say, I kind of like the scene at the beginning when they basically were banking on this, what's it called when they pay your kid to go to college?
Scholarship, yeah.
Scholarship. They're banking on this scholarship that the town gives
and
away.
Nick Kroll plays the head of the city council.
Yeah, basically the city takes all that money so they can build a pool instead of sending their daughter to college.
And they ultimatum at the... Which, let me ask you this. You want to put this one kid through college, or do all of you want to be able to swim in a pool?
It's pretty good.
Oh, God, I love, so Mantzoukas' character is actually really cool because he's like, I actually wanted to see the movie from his perspective throughout the entire time. I know that sounds weird, but it's like the Poehler and Farrell character could have been fun side characters, but Mantzoukas' character has the most dynamic. Farrell and Poehler's characters are kind of like, yeah, we get it. They're parents who love their kids.
Yeah.
And
they're gonna do wacky things to send her to college.
I do like when he's trying to act tough, like they're trying to convince him to act tough by cutting off the finger and whatnot.
Yeah, that seems great.
It's great. It's wonderful. Renner's kind of wasted, but he just gets set on fire, so it's awesome. Yeah. I do like Jeremy Renner, but it's also fun to watch him set on fire.
I think he's pretty good. It's just weird that they spoil his arrival with a newspaper clipping.
I didn't notice it right away.
Oh, okay.
So I actually went back and saw that first part again to confirm what you were saying. I also saw Baywatch.
Underwhelming?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good way to put it. I mean, I would put it like, I wanted to watch 21 Jump Street after it in order to see what goes wrong as opposed to what goes right. But I don't think that would have made any difference. I mean, The Rock and Efron are fine. Everybody in the movie's fine, I guess. It's just I don't think they're working with the strongest script.
Sure.
And it's written by Damon and Mark, the guys who wrote Freddy vs. Jason, and there are funny moments in the film, but they're few and far between. And also they're stretching the concept of Baywatch itself super thin, because it's lifeguard detectives.
Right.
That's what the show was.
Right.
And they're stretching it.
And there's so much you could do in a 21 Jump Street way to make that funny.
Exactly.
It seemed like the perfect premise that then every time I hear somebody say this movie's underwhelming, I'm like, oh shit. It's on my stack of things I gotta watch before the end of the year. And I'm not excited about it.
There are fun moments in it. There's a kid named Ronnie in it who's in love with the C.J. Parker character who was Pamela Anderson on the TV show, and the girl who's playing a new C.J. in this movie, she's great. She's actually really funny at the very beginning. And the kid who plays Ronnie's fine. Hannibal Buress is in it for a quick moment, and he's fun. Cool. But it's just all of it seems pretty underwhelming. It's
a comedy where none of the main roles are played by comedians, right?
No, because I still maintain that Efron has comic abilities.
Sure.
I think that he gets hits and misses. And Dwayne Johnson's definitely a comic talent. He's just not a comedian, but he can deliver comedic dialogue. I just don't think all the elements are right there. But I get why they made it, because it's well, what else do we do with this property while we have it around?
Yeah.
I guess we do this movie. Because after this, I don't think no one's going to try to make a Baywatch show anymore at this point.
No.
But I get why. I mean, sorry, Paramount. Nobody went to the movie not because of the Rotten Tomato rating. They went because it probably wasn't that good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And
really
it sucks for me to say this. It's co-produced by Eli Roth. I don't want to dig down on anything he's doing.
I do. That guy's a shit.
Oh, fuck you. But and Seth Gordon directed it. He's a fine director. He did Horrible Bosses. I like him.
Yeah, I like it. He can do funny shit.
I think that just it was a combination of things just not meshing.
Yeah.
So
sort of less than the sum of its parts.
There are funny moments in the film. I mean, David Hasselhoff's cameo is super forced and super awkward. But he does destroy a phone in his bare hand, so it's hilarious, I guess.
Cool.
I saw Monkey Business, the story of the creation of Curious George, documentary on Hulu. I mainly watched it because I had a friend from high school who actually worked on the writing the narration script. So I was like, oh, I'll check out and support that work. Guys, that's like a crying movie from minute 1 to minute end. Like it's the whole time it's just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. They're a couple and they loved each other. And they made this little monkey thing that likes to like go around and like look at things because he's curious. Like, but basically it's about H.A. Ray and Margaret Ray, who were German Jews who had to escape the Nazi occupation in Paris, and they fled from Brazil and then to America and created Curious George. And the story of how they fled the Nazi occupation is what's fascinating because they didn't have a car, they really didn't have tickets for trains until they get to the Lisbon port, and so they had to bicycle out of France on 2 bikes that H.A. Ray built himself out of the parts that were left from the bicycle shop that had sold out of bikes. Cool. Like everything is like it's all inspiring. It's wonderful, and it made me remember Curious George. Like I'd forgotten there was a story where Curious George went to the moon.
Aw.
Went to space, and then he came back, and everyone's happy that he is a little monkey in a spacesuit. And I was like, that's awesome. I rewatched the Lego Movie because it was 99 cents on iTunes to rent. I don't know why I don't own it yet. I probably should at this point.
Yeah.
It's still funny as fuck. But I noticed that like the sound design on that film is genius as shit.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it before in the theater because everyone was laughing in the theater. So you don't get to hear all the like little intricacies in it and whatnot. So that was great. Something I didn't talk about last week, I rewatched Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein because Spencer Kane and I were talking about it, and it got seeped into my mind, and I was like, fuck, I'm going to rent this movie again, aren't I? And yeah, sure enough, great film. It's wonderful if you haven't seen it. Bud Abbott and Lou Costello meet Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Movie's really fun, repurposes some gags from other Abbott and Costello films and makes them fresh. Especially the candle gag, where it's like Lou's candles on Dracula's coffin and it keeps moving.
Yeah.
That whole spiel. It's still fun. I think it's actually beautifully shot for a comedy film of that era, because you have to incorporate the gothic element into it, and I think they do a really good job with it. So, yeah, there's that. Amazon had the first season of News Radio for $7.99, so I bought it digitally.
Cool.
And rewatched it. I forgot how much I fucking love that show. I love Phil Hartman to death. Why? Oh God, I should have said to death. Fuck. God, I'm going to hell.
You're why.
Oh God.
You just killed Phil Hartman
again. Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You might remember me as dead. No, but that show's amazing. Phil Hartman was great on it too, yes, but you also had Joe Rogan on it. You had Dave Foley. Andy Dick's fine. He's what he is, I guess. He's awkward. He's an awkward guy. But I forgot that Stephen Root was on the show as Jimmy James.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He's funny as all fuck because he doesn't give a shit about the studio that he's running the entire time. But one of the episodes that I love is it's a great episode where everyone's trying to quit smoking, and like Bill McNeil, Phil Hartman's character, tries to solve the problem by sticking like numerous amounts of nicotine patches all over his body and gets a nicotine overdose. It's really fucking funny. I love that show. I'm gonna go ahead and get I guess Mill Creek has the complete series on DVD, like in that cheapo way that Ryan got Married with Children.
Yeah.
But Sony has like each season for roughly $10 to $14. Just depends on what's available. So I don't know. I'll make a decision at some point.
Cool.
And then the last thing that I watched was a twofold on it. So I watched a riff tracks called Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny, which I haven't seen before.
Okay.
But before I've been trying to do this before I watch the riff track. I want to watch the movie itself.
Sure.
So Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny is this movie made by this guy who owned a theme park in Illinois, and called Pirate World, and I guess he got like sued up the ass years down the line, but like this movie was meant to somehow promote his theme park and incorporate a short film that he owned. So basically the story of it is Santa's sleigh has landed in the beach of South Florida, and it's stuck, and the reindeer got so hot that they flew away, leaving Santa behind. So Santa is so hot, like, and bothered by the sun that he puts out a call to the kids of the neighborhoods in Florida, in these like weird Florida suburbs. And like at some kids he knows by name, so he calls them out by name. And some people he just says, hey kid, get over here. And then as the kids are rushing to Santa's help, at some point you see Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn in Hawaiian shirts on a raft cruising down a mini river or little river or ocean bank in Florida. And they appear in one scene and don't appear again until the end of the movie just to provide a reaction shot. So basically they're trying to help Santa get stuck out of the sand so that he can get back to the North Pole, right?
Sure.
So they try everything. They bring a guy dressed in a gorilla suit to carry him out of the sand. They bring a dog. They bring a horse. They bring a donkey. They bring all these things. And then, like, Santa starts, like, getting discouraged, but then he sees all the other kids getting discouraged and says, now don't get discouraged. Let me tell you about a story about a guy who never gave up. And it cuts to Jack and the Beanstalk, the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, sung by wannabe David Cassidy's and Partridge Family members. Like, basically, like, it's the village of Jack and the Beanstalk, but everyone looks like they have a mixture of fancy clothing and 70s denim. So it's like, it's bizarre. Like, it was clearly shot on the lowest budget possible. And they sing songs like Fee, Fi, Fo, Fum, I Smell the Blood of an Englishman. And it makes no sense to the plot. The Jack and the Beanstalk segment ends, and so they try once more with a dog to get Santa out of the sandbank, and it doesn't work. And then finally all the kids leave Santa. And Santa is getting so hot that he starts stripping down, taking off his robe, and you just see sweat stains on Santa's undershirt. It's all hope is lost. And the kids suddenly appear in a car down the street. They're being driven in a car up the street. And who should appear, guys? But the ice cream bunny. And the ice cream bunny drives
What the fuck is an ice cream bunny?
I don't know what the fucking ice cream bunny is, but I know it drives a fire truck from old-timey days down the street through Pirate World, because we got to promote Pirate World.
Is it animated, or is it a guy in a suit?
It's a guy in a suit. And he saves Santa and tells Santa, you and I can drive in my fire truck to deliver the presents to the children.
Sounds like the worst pirate movie I've ever seen.
I had a dumbfounded look on my face, and I was like, oh god, I gotta put the riff on now, because like I just gotta know how they tackle this, and they did it with
in any way possible.
Oh, they did it with fucking ease. Like, it was so easy to do this movie, but like,
you talking about this movie has given Brad a headache.
Oh,
look
God.
at his sad face.
Oh, my eyes are just really dry for some reason.
No, I think it might be the power of the ice cream bunny has come over you, and you're just so overwhelmed.
No, they're really hot right now.
Dude, seriously, look this fucking film up. Like, look up a picture of the ice cream bunny at some point. Doesn't have to be now or whatever, but like, it's seriously one of the most bizarre things they've ever done.
Video segments of a podcast.
I mean, oh god, it's
ew.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has a beard. Yeah. It has a weird beard.
And every time on the riff tracks, every time that bunny appears, Bill Corbett just goes, nyeh, 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 nyeh.
What? Okay, just move on. Move on.
So that's all I watched this week.
Can't do anymore. Okay, Brad, talk about literally anything else.
Well, this week I did not watch anything new, so in lieu of that, I'll read another passage from this book that I just got. Spock was studying Garth with the expression of a bacteriologist confronted by a germ he had thought long extinct. You must be aware, he said, that you are attempting to repeat the disaster that resulted in your becoming an intimate part of this place.
That was like so overwritten.
I'm having trouble reading it. It's pretty
wordy. The people who will read this are really into science. So
I've flipped through all these pages, and god damn it, I was about to make a point that there are no like lines of dialogue for Sulu or Chekhov or Uhura, and the page I just opened has Chekhov and Sulu.
It's probably that they weren't in that episode much, you know?
I want him to wear a minister's outfit and read from that book, and then we go, Scotty, be with you.
Yeah, Brad's actually going to officiate my wedding by reading from this novel.
I think they truncated these episodes and just cut them out, really. Except for right now, where it's like...
And then Kirk lifted the boulder over his head to tackle the Gorn. Do you take this woman to be
Tractor field activated, Sulu said. We're being pulled out of here.
You know, right now, I'm just gonna say, right now, Ryan's listening to this
my.
part of the show, and he's already had like some form of stroke and died.
Yeah, he's like, come on, guys, there's no momentum. Nothing's funny. Anyway, speaking of no momentum and nothing is funny, this week...
Actually, I watched Blade Runner 2049 again. So.
Oh, cool.
Did you
like it more?
Oh, sorry.
Huh?
Sorry. Oh, sorry. No.
No, it's. I guess yeah. I guess each time I watch it, it just keeps getting better and better. So
Cool. I should see it again.
yeah.
Then it'll get better.
I think it might be the movie I've watched the most this year in the theater. So
Wow.
I check my stats.
I didn't mean to ask. So you didn't see it in the TCL in the main stage, but like, how big was your screen and whatnot in there?
It was like a standard Alamo size screen.
Okay, so it wasn't bad.
It was really steep though. Like
Oh, like
it was like the Carlos Center IMAX seating where it's literally like every seat is another.
Is your
foot
your
to
feet?
head is
Yeah,
another
your feet
level.
is at someone's head level.
Yeah.
Well, they are in like a street block, and they're going upward.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's a very condensed space.
Yeah.
It's super futuristic. They have in the lobby they have these angled LCD screens, but they still keep them. They maintain the entire like rectangle image as they're angled. It's crazy.
Huh.
Like I don't know how they do that.
Well, they live in movie land.
Imagine like a mosaic of like,
TVs
of rectangular TVs set at 45-degree angles next to each other.
Yeah.
That create a pattern, and then it's the Justice League trailer playing normally across
cool.
all of them.
Oh, what? That's neat.
Yeah.
I thought you meant just like posters on the wall, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, no, yeah, they do the Alamo thing there with the electronic posters.
That's cool.
And then there was some kind of like interview going down, and I couldn't figure out what it was for.
It was for Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
Yeah.
It was the one you were supposed to be
I
conducting.
thought it was a Star Wars thing because they were messing around with the this giant Star Wars standee. Oh, by the way,
yeah,
the great thing about L.A. obviously is how they go all out to promote their films. So there's like a gigantic Star Wars last year, the premiere one, the preview one,
yeah,
the white one,
yeah,
with Rey with the lightsaber in the middle,
yeah,
like enormous above a building, above the El Capitan.
Oh, cool.
Honestly, the Disney Theater, but like it's just cool because there's nothing like that in Denver.
What did they have? So when I was there, it was the week that The Mummy came out. That's why I missed the Mummy that week. So they had in the lobby. So just to the right of the Chinese theater, right? There's like some stairs, and there's this big open lobby. There's like the only thing I can remember is there's a Victoria's Secret in that mall.
Yeah, Dolby Theater.
Yes. So in that big round lobby thing, there was a sarcophagus that was about 7 stories tall. Like the Mummy sarcophagus was about 7 stories tall, and it was in that big thing. And they had redone the whole lobby to look all mummy-ish. Was there anything cool?
Nothing like that elaborate.
Okay.
I mean, that whole lobby with the gigantic like Sphinx-like statues is like impressive enough.
Yeah.
But that's a cool idea. I don't know if the Dolby might be a Paramount theater.
Oh, okay.
So that would make sense. But yeah, there was nothing that elaborate.
Okay.
I mean, we're in between like premieres. I'm sure when Star Wars comes out in 2 weeks, there'll probably be some huge stuff.
Yeah, there'll be a giant Luke Skywalker standee there.
I mean, there's probably something cool for Justice League 2 weeks ago that I missed.
Yeah, like a giant
other box.
Ivan Ooze.
Giant Steppenwolf.
You know,
cool.
Around. You know, it's funny because the El Capitan, like, they have a pre-show sometime where they do something before the movie. Like with Finding Nemo, when I saw Finding Nemo there, they did like a Pixar All-Star review.
Cool.
So I would love for Star Wars for them to just have Mark Hamill come out and recreate Guys and Dolls from that Simpsons episode.
I would just have him come out and bitch a lot about how much he doesn't like the last Jedi right before you watch it.
Speaking of Finding Nemo, another movie for that list of spoilery titles.
Yes, that is a good one. That's a really good
night.
one. Yeah. Oh, man.
Also, the popcorn smell at the El Capitan, like straight out of. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but popcorn does not smell like it used to in the 80s and 90s. But they have maintained it there.
I
can't describe it.
It was good popcorn.
I walked by and it's like classic.
So when I was there, I really wanted a souvenir ticket stub from the El Capitan because I just love that theater. But we didn't have time to actually like watch a movie. Plus, they were showing Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Fifth Movie, and so all I did was I just went up to the thing. And that theater's not like normal theaters where they only let you in right before the movie starts. So I walked up and I was like, "Hey, I just want to buy a ticket stub, and like, can I go in? But I'm not going to watch the movie. I just want to walk around the theater and see the inside of the theater." and I want to buy a ticket stub so I have a souvenir. And the lady was like super confused and like called another guy over, and I was like, I just want a ticket stub as a souvenir.
So I can bomb the place.
I want to give you money to walk around and not see the movie. And anyway, they ended up giving me like free popcorn and a drink. They gave me a senior discount, and then let me go in and walk around and look at stuff, and it was awesome. So I'm like walking around with my thing of popcorn and my soda and my free soda, eating popcorn while I just look at all the cool stuff on the walls at the El Capitan.
You know what happened is that the ghost
beautiful.
The ghost of Walt Disney came in after you left and went, how much did you give him for free? God damn it! This is why I died.
It was really cool because the movie had actually gotten out while we were there, so we got to like sneak into the theater and look at like they had turned the old balconies into like they'd put these giant cannons in the balconies and dressed it all up for Pirates of the Caribbean. And I was like, okay, I would almost have suffered through Pirates of the Caribbean 5 for this. But
That's
anyway,
cool.
yeah.
What'd you watch?
Cool. I had a better segue before, but now I don't remember. This week I watched Valerian and the Curse of 1,000 Subplots, which is the new Luc Besson movie. I actually would say I enjoyed it, with a large caveat of I don't give a shit about the main character.
Now you know how I feel about the fifth element.
My review from earlier this year.
Right.
Very similar.
There's some like really cool stuff. Like, so the biggest problem with this movie, no, I won't start there. So the movie starts with this very weird and very long sequence where these CG avatar-looking aliens are on a planet and they're like replicating pearls with tiny little lizards. Basically, they have these lizards that are kind of like what's his name from Futurama? I want to say Nermal.
Nibbler.
They're kind of like Nibbler, but like you feed them tiny atomic bombs and they just poop out a shit ton of atomic bombs, and then you could like power all your spaceships with all these atomic bombs, right? So anyway, there's all these avatar aliens or whatever on this planet, and then all of a sudden like something crashes into the planet and they almost all die, but some of them escape. And then like one of them novas, and then all of a sudden our hero wakes up and he's on a beach. But you've been watching this whole thing for a really long time, and you're like, wait, what is what? And so it's really off-putting for a movie that I actually think does a pretty good job of like establishing its world well and making you interested in this crazy sci-fi universe. It has this whole. After that, they go into like this whole, or maybe that was first.
Actually, even before all that.
Yeah, that's right. First, they did the thing that was like a montage of space exploration for humans,
meeting cultures,
and
building the city of 1,000 planets.
That's why I was super confused when they jumped to this weird like side thing. Anyway, all of that is to say, this movie is like a series of actually really fun little adventures, where your main character like has to do something, or has to like find a way to like has to sneak into this place, or I think the first one is actually pretty cool when you just think about it out of the context of the film, where there's this planet that's like a giant desert, and on that planet, if you put on like VR goggles and these special gloves, you see this whole shopping mall that is in a different dimension. So this whole desert planet is actually a giant shopping mall, but so there's just this giant desert where people are just walking around buying stuff in a different dimension. And so there's this whole adventure where he's got this cool box where when he puts his hand in the box, like his hand is in the other dimension, so he goes and tries to assassinate this bad guy and steal back this lizard. And it's actually a pretty fun, very creative, very different sort of sci-fi adventure sequence. The problem with this movie is actually it wanting to have a main plot, because there's so many of these little side things where there is literally one point where you're like 3 or 4 deviations away from the main plot, where Valerian crashes his ship chasing after this random ship that has stolen the commander, which has nothing to do, we don't think at the time, with the main plot of this lizard that they have. And then he crashes his ship, so his partner tries to go after him, and then she gets captured. So then he has to save her, and so he goes and finds Rihanna, who's a shapeshifter, and he crawls inside of Rihanna, and Rihanna turns into a different alien, and they sneak into this other place in order to try and rescue her, right? Like, there's all, and then they fall through a trash chute, and then they don't know where they are, and then Rihanna dies. Like, there's all, spoilers, there's all these, like, levels of story, and at this point, again, you're just so far away from the main plot that you don't know why you're supposed to care. So the only reason you should care is if you like the main character, and you don't. The biggest problem here is just that they've terribly miscast Dane DeHaan. He's not charismatic enough, and so when he does like kind of sleazy, like, hey baby, I just want to marry you, and like, yes, I'm a womanizer, but I'm gonna change just for you. When he does that stuff, like when Chris Pratt does it, you're like, oh, he's so handsome, and he's probably pretty innocent. When Dane DeHaan does it, you're like, oh, he's got roofies in his pocket. Like, he's just inherently nefarious looking, and especially here where they've like made his hair black and short. They've given him this like if Eminem dyed his hair black kind of haircut, and so he just looks terrible and like he's gonna hurt someone, which is too bad because I think the majority of the movie is actually pretty fun and weird. And you know, is it fantastic? No. I think the resolution. This movie, I was telling Brad earlier, this movie would be better if it had the structure of a Sin City, where you just kept having these characters go on these little seemingly unrelated little stories or little adventures where they're like, oh, we've got to go get this lizard thing, or oh shoot, she got in trouble and I got to go find her, and then along the way we ran into this one guy, and then at the end you have one sequence where you find out like, oh, there's these Avatar-looking aliens, and they're from this thing, and they're trying to build a Zeppelin in space, and they did, and we got to save them. Because the actual like idea of the story is pretty cool, but it falls so short. I can't recommend it to anybody other than if you saw the trailer and you were like, that looks kind of interesting, and I want to see why that's so weird. Then you should totally see it, but just know going in like you're not gonna enjoy yourself. You're just going to get to see weird shit, like Dane DeHaan crawling inside of Rihanna.
You said a lot of things, a lot of words,
Yeah.
phrases,
Yep.
sentences that are complete. And then Dane DeHaan crawls inside Rihanna. I don't know what kind of porn that is, but I can gladly say I want it banned.
I also watched...
This sounds dumb and ridiculous.
Oh, it is. It is ridiculous.
Is it even worth like a rental or?
Yeah, I was glad I watched it.
Okay,
I rented it on Amazon.
Okay,
and I rented it and did other things while I rented it, like folded laundry or like shredded news, like shitty credit card applications.
It's just like I don't like giving Luc Besson my money, but
he's
I'll
fine.
watch it out of curiosity.
Mostly harmless.
Yeah.
Speaking of mostly harmless, this week I watched Fury,
the Brad Pitt,
the David Ayer movie, with Brad Pitt and Shia LaBeouf, which of course I've seen before. But it was great to remind myself how really good that movie was. Shia LaBeouf is amazing. Like, I wish Shia LaBeouf weren't a crazy alcoholic who had his own cult. Like, that guy should come back because he was great in that film. I also realized about halfway through the movie that Fury is why I will never just give David Ayer the benefit of the doubt on Suicide Squad, because, like, Fury's amazing, and that guy should have been able to make a better, cool movie than what Suicide Squad became. I genuinely think it's one of the best World War II movies that I have.
Still haven't seen it.
It's great. You can borrow it, because I probably won't watch it for a while because it's a tough watch.
Cool.
I also went to... Sorry, I watched a lot of things this week. I went to the Dollar Theater, the Elvis Cinemas over in Tamarack Square, and went and saw The Mountain Between Us.
Oh, what day did you go?
I don't know. Saturday? Saturday. I went on Saturday.
Okay.
It was sort of a last minute... Yeah. It was sort of a last minute kind of thing where we just didn't know what we were doing
How's
that night.
that theater doing?
It's fine. There were a lot of people there.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why it's still in business. As far as have they made any improvements? Anything new there?
No. You don't get new things at the Dollar Theater. Tickets were like $3. No, tickets were $4.
Yes, that's nice.
So it's gone up a little. It's no longer $3. It's now $4. Popcorn and a large popcorn and a large drink is $10. So that's expensive, but you still get out of the place for $18, which for 2 people is pretty impressive. And that's a large drink and a large soda, which could literally murder a camel. You could drown a camel in that much soda and popcorn.
How many people are doing that to camels?
I'm just saying, it's a lot of popcorn and soda.
A problem we don't know about?
It's
a thing is happening.
It is a gallon of soda.
We need to start an Omaze charity for it now.
Oprah needs to start campaigning to save the camels from popcorn and soda. It's fine. I mean, the theater was full of people who talked a lot. You don't want to see a movie there, but if you have to, it's okay. There was a guy to my left who I'm pretty sure fell asleep. There was a woman who came in about 20 minutes in, probably because the first 20 minutes of this movie are relatively predictable. Well, actually, no, that's not true. But anyway, and she came in 20 minutes in, sat there for a while, got up and took a phone call at one point, left 20 minutes before it was over. She was basically there just long enough to see the sex scene. Spoilers. So
we know why she was there.
Her call was to Mr. Skin. Being yep, nudity in this one. No, I'm not going to stay. I'll watch it on the website.
So The Mountain Between Us is a movie with Kate Winslet and Idris Elba. Thank you. Wow. And Idris Elba and almost no one else. Beau Bridges is in it. But basically the two of them are at an airport and they're trying to get to Denver, and they're in Iowa. And they're trying to get to Denver, and they both have a reason that may or may not be a little bit silly and contrived.
Weed.
They have to get to Denver as soon as possible. Kate Winslet's wedding is tomorrow, which makes you wonder why the fuck she's not already in Denver. But whatever. So they're both so desperate to get to Denver in the middle of this horrible winter storm that has closed the airport that also is not visible in the film. I'm going to make fun of this movie for a little while, even though I actually kind of like it. But they decide they're going to charter a flight, so they go out to the chartered flights area, and Beau Bridges gets them a flight. But while they're walking around on the tarmac where the planes are, it's just kind of gray, and you can see the blue skies, and you're like, wait, where is the storm that's grounding all the planes? The guy just told us, until the storm blows over.
Well, maybe they don't want to fly through it because it's not there, but it's on the way to Denver.
Yeah, that's kind of what they make it into.
Yeah.
So anyway, Beau Bridges gets them in a plane, and bad news if you are a big Beau Bridges fan. Beau Bridges dies, and the plane crashes into a mountain, and they're on top of a mountain.
Well, fuck, that's when I'm leaving because Beau Bridges is life.
So now, and Kate Winslet has a broken leg, or not broken, but a gash in her leg. It's not broken, but she's hurt. And Idris Elba is a doctor. And so they are trapped on top of this mountain, and the question is okay, do we just stay in the plane and hope someone finds us? Or do we try to walk down this mountain, even though from the top of the mountain you can't see shit? So if you're walking for weeks to try and get down, and of course she's hurt. So it's a story about people walking. And along the way, they learn to like each other. And
but what about her fiance?
The events of the film, sort of challenge their ability.
What about that open heart surgery he has to perform in the morning?
If one or both of them should survive this event and get home, it might dramatically affect their ability to be happy in their old lives because they have had this life-altering and challenging event where they almost died. It's actually a pretty good film. There's some really tense moments, some really unexpected things happen where you're oh shit. Sometimes where you think they're dead and then they're not, and then you think the other one's dead and then they're not, and then maybe some of them are dead. Who knows? But I think it's a pretty easy film that if you can suspend your disbelief and just enjoy yourself a nice little romance while you almost die movie, you might enjoy yourself.
Can I take a guess at how that ends?
Speed. Sure.
Okay, so they get close to the bottom of the mountain, but then there's a riverbank that they have to pass. and the only thing that can get them across is a big wooden door. Now, Kate Winslet gets on the door, and when Idris Elba tries to get on, she pushes him off and says, "No, Jack, you can't get on my door."
That's not how it works.
Cut to an old woman throwing a jewel in the ocean.
What's
Fuck
really
you, James Cameron?
What's really horrible is when you started to talk, Zach, I actually thought you might guess the ending.
Oh no!
And then you reminded me that was never going to happen.
Kate Winslet.
Yeah, no, she's great. She's great,
and
still really pretty.
Survival.
I mean,
story.
really.
Yeah. There's no debate.
I think she's
on
more than her looks, James.
The first thing I did was I said she was great. Looking.
Was
anyway,
there ever a mountain between them?
I also watched Sandy Wexler this week, which is the Adam Sandler comedy on Netflix. Sandy Wexler is a movie in which Adam Sandler plays Sandy Wexler, who is a talent manager in Hollywood, and the structure of the movie is kind of weird. Like, you have all these interviews with celebrities that range from Eddie Murphy to, or no, not Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, to like people you don't expect at all. Like, who's Louis? What's his name? Louis, who used to do Family Feud. The big guy.
Oh, Louis Anderson?
Louis Anderson.
Yeah.
Like, Louis Anderson's in the movie. Anyway, so there are all these people who are talking about this manager and like telling you the story. And basically, Sandy Wexler is like a really shitty manager who just lies constantly to everyone. Like, they even joke early on that like basically everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. And if he's ever somewhere and he gets a page, he always tells you it's James Cameron or something like that. I think the character is actually relatively funny. When Ryan talked about this movie, I think he said that this was like based on one of Adam Sandler's earlier managers. And anyway, the character is actually really funny. The story is that he discovers Jennifer Hudson and basically makes her into like Whitney Houston, and then there's some strife there, and then maybe they fall in love. But none of that matters. It's really just this stream of like funny sequences and like these pretty shitty performers that he has that he is their agent. Anyway, I think it's worth checking out. It's not insulting. It's not overly stupid. Like, there's some dumb stuff, but it's not like grown up stupid, and it's not it's not gross Adam Sandler.
It's in the middle.
Yeah, it's just a silly film,
I saw it after Spencer Kane recommended it to me. It's not fun, or it is fun.
It's fine.
It's like, it's not, for me. It's not Punch Drunk Club or something like
No.
that. But like, it reminds me of like anger management, Big Daddy area, where I'm like, you're not too goofy.
Maybe
but you're
Mr.
not taken
Deeds.
too seriously either. You're
Yeah.
kind of in your middle ground here, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a palatable, fun film like a Mr. Deeds or a Big Daddy.
And I'm surprised how restrained it is.
Yeah.
Like, because you could theoretically make that a lot.
They could make
goofier.
it. Yeah, they could make it Ridiculous Six dumb.
Yeah.
But they didn't, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
But it's also not high art Adam Sandler the way that the Meyerowitz Stories is. Which is also on Netflix.
Yeah,
and
I haven't seen that yet, but I'm gonna check it out.
It's a Noah Baumbach movie that stars Adam Sandler and Dustin Hoffman and Ben Stiller and Grace Van Patten, and basically the three of them are all Dustin Hoffman's kids, and Dustin Hoffman is like this sort of sculptor artist who never got super famous and maybe was kind of a shitty dad. And Ben Stiller and Adam Sandler are brothers, and Adam Sandler is kind of the loser of the three, but like in a really sympathetic way. And it's really just it's the story of these siblings as they sort of go through coming to terms with the end of their dad's life. Not that he dies in the movie, but that they're all realizing he's becoming old and that he might die soon. And they're having conversations about like selling his house and stuff like that. Emma Thompson is in the movie and she's amazing. Like, she's so fun. She plays Dustin Hoffman's wife, Maureen, who's an alcoholic, and that Dustin Hoffman keeps saying like, oh, she's stopped drinking. She's doing really good now. She said she would do it for me. I told her I didn't like who she was when she drank, but you can tell she's constantly smashed. But she pulls it off in such a great, like, realistic way. And I think Adam Sandler, both Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller have amazing performances in this film. This is maybe the first time that I've really respected Ben Stiller as a serious actor.
Really?
I mean, I know he's fine, but this is one where, like, oh, yeah, like, you actually do have the chops. Like, you're
have you seen his stuff with Bob
genuinely
before?
good. No, not
you haven't seen
really.
Greenberg or
No, I didn't see
While We're
Greenberg.
Young?
Nope.
Oh, you should watch those ones.
Yeah, but they're not free on Netflix.
I think While We're Young is on Amazon.
I don't need you to talk right now. This is my part of the show. So, anyway, I think you should check it out. It's definitely a slow-burning, quiet drama. There's not a lot of resolutions. You don't really learn anything. But it's a really good, like, character piece drama that is worth seeing, at least for the performances. Also, Dustin Hoffman is hilarious. I think he's really good, and it reminds me how much I like Dustin Hoffman. So, yeah. And then I also watched Behind Enemy Lines this week, which I haven't seen for a long time, but really liked. That movie doesn't hold up as well as I hoped it did, but it's pretty fun. All the CG is really bad. Like, really bad. I forgot how bad it is.
So bad that you want to go back and redo everything for it? Or?
Yeah! Behind Enemy Lines would be a better film if you just replaced that bad CGI of a football with good... I'm not talking about changing the movie at all.
Okay,
you gotta realize, I'm not talking about, like, changing the elements of the film. I don't need you to add new characters. I just want you to redo the CGI football so it looks like a good CGI football. Because there's a scene with a football in the movie that's CG and it's real bad.
Mm-hmm.
If it looked better, that would be better.
You can replace all the guns with walkie-talkies?
No, damn it, that's not what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's what I watched. You should still watch Behind Enemy Lines, though, because it's pretty fun.
I forgot that after I went to the Star Wars Cantina, I walked to Amoeba Music and looked around their DVD section, and it's an amazing store.
Had you not been there before?
I had not been there before.
Oh, nice.
But then when I got home the next day, I was reading stuff about Mystery Science Theater. I was at the canteen at 6 o'clock. I went to Amoeba at 7:38, and I grabbed the Mystery Science Theater soundtrack on their shelf and been like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I should get this. No, I don't want to carry it on the plane. I'll leave it. Apparently, at 6 o'clock, Felicia Day and Hampton Yount were there signing Mystery Science Theater soundtracks.
No shit.
I thought, Jonah might be there, too. I saw a photo of it on there.
Maybe Jonah, too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I missed it.
Wow, that sucks.
I was within walking distance of it, haphazardly.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brad.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
now
like,
you
this is why I
can
can't
just
have
kill
nice things.
yourself.
Yeah. But I did find a Criterion version of the RoboCop DVD, so for $4.
Cool.
So I replaced that.
Yeah, if you ever go to Amoeba, it's like their used stuff, like the stuff that you actually want, is actually relatively cheap by comparison to, say, eBay or Amazon buying used just right off of somebody.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's pretty
cool.
Yeah. Way too big for me to tackle in under an hour, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This week, which one do you want to get? Which one do you guys want to do first?
Shit, we have 2 movies to do.
Let's do Lady Bird first, because I think Zach and I can knock it out. Plus, that way you can just tag the Ryan thing on at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, there's less to spoil, so we can talk about Lady Bird without, and people can just keep listening and then get to the 3 Billboards review without worrying about spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week, Zach and I went and saw Lady Bird, the new Greta Gerwig film. Zach, should people go see Lady Bird?
Absolutely. Just with the caveat, like, I'm a 26-year-old man, and I was never a teenage girl, despite many people's claims.
That's debatable.
Yeah. See, example A. So I didn't relate to this film emotionally the same way others might. And again, it's just me. But this movie's great. Laurie Metcalf is amazing in the film. Saoirse Ronan's really good in the film. Or Saoirse Ronan, sorry. Everybody knocks it out of the park. I think you should actually give this film at least one watch. So, James, should people go see The Lady Bird?
You stole basically all the words out of my mouth, only assembled more properly. Yeah, I think the movie is really amazing. I loved it. Almost cried a couple times, especially near the end, because I think it's really beautiful. It's a very slice of life film, so kind of know what you're going in for. But I think it's really funny when it needs to be funny, and it's very like emotionally powerful when it wants to be. With, I would say, the same caveat of this is a film back when Girls came out. I gave this same sort of caveat of I watched the first episode of Girls and thought like, man, like I went and talked to all the women in my life and encouraged them to watch that first episode because I wanted to know how genuine and realistic it was, because I watched it and thought like, man, this seems like the most genuine version of Sex and the City. And so the same thing is kind of true here, where only not with Sex and the City. The same thing is kind of true here, where like I want to talk to women who are kind of like this person and find out like, hey, is this kind of what it's like, or does this relate, and does this give me a window into emotionally what that feels like? Because I think there's especially some really wonderful scenes between her and her mom that is just a challenge I never necessarily had. And so, not that all women have the exact same experiences with their mom, but it's just an interesting sort of thing to see that I think, like the same way, I just can't emotionally connect with as much as I would in a river runs through it or something like that. That's more of a father-son kind of a story.
I use the Field of Dreams example when I talk about it with my folks. Of like, there's a reason why guys cry at the end of that film,
right?
And there's a reason why mothers and daughters might share a connection over Lady Bird.
Right.
But, yeah.
That's part of why I think this movie is really important and special, because there's probably not as many of these as there are for us. Because I could very quickly name you quite a few films that are father-son stories that, you know.
Most of them by a guy named Steven Spielberg.
No, that father's never there. Oh. Anyway, so here's the trailer for Lady Bird.
I hate California. I want to go to the East Coast.
I want to go where culture is, like
How
New
in the
York,
world did I raise such a
or at least
snob?
Connecticut or New Hampshire, where writers live in the
Get
woods.
into those schools anyway.
Mom,
You should just go to City College. You know, with your work ethic, just go to City College and then to jail and then back to City College, and then maybe you'd learn to pull yourself up and not expect everybody to do everything.
Lady Bird, is that your given name?
Yeah.
Why is it in quotes?
I gave it to myself. It's given to me by me.
Lady Bird always says that she lives on the wrong side of the tracks, but I always thought that that was like a metaphor. But there are actual train tracks.
What she did was very baller. It was very anarchist.
Put the magazine back!
She has a big heart, your mom.
She's warm, but she's also kind of scary.
You can't be scary and warm.
I think you can. Your mom is.
So, you're not interested in any Catholic colleges?
No way. I want schools like Yale, but not Yale because I probably couldn't get in.
You definitely couldn't get in.
Does Mom hate me?
If you're tired, we can sit down.
I'm not tired.
You were dragging your feet.
You are so infuriating.
Please stop yelling.
I'm not yelling. Oh, it's perfect.
Do you love it?
You both have such strong personalities.
When is a normal time to have sex?
You're having sex?
Get ready. Just wanted it to be special.
Why? You're gonna have so much unspecial sex in your life.
We're afraid that we will never escape our past.
Whatever we give you, it's never enough. It's never enough.
It is enough.
We're afraid of what the future will bring. We're afraid we won't be loved.
You can't do anything unless you're the center of attention.
We won't be liked.
Yeah, well, you know your mom's tits, they're totally fake. She made one bad decision at 19. 2 bad decisions.
And we won't succeed.
I want you to be the very best version of yourself that you can be.
What if this is the best version? What I'd really like is to be on Math Olympiad.
But math isn't something you're terribly strong in.
That we know of yet.
Yeah, I think this movie is really amazing. Like you said, Laurie Metcalf is just unbelievable in this film.
And and what I found amazing was like in reading some interviews, like I guess Greta Gerwig hired her off of her theater work, not even off of all the stuff Laurie Metcalf's done over the years. It was her theater work, which doesn't surprise me. She's always been a presence in the theatrical community, but to grab such a down to earth like portrayal of like a mother who's doing the best to raise her daughter, Saoirse Ronan's like, what I liked about the Lady Bird character is that she's never super unlikable. Like, I remember seeing the trailer before I went to go see the movie, and I'm like, oh, this character seems pretty unlikable and like pretentious and like all this stuff and like that. It's like, no, she's actually not. She's like the furthest thing from that to a degree, because like she's not like living in an affluent lifestyle. You know,
no, she's genuinely trying.
As she says in the film, she lives on the wrong side of the tracks in Sacramento.
Yeah,
but like, which is a very funny joke when you do see it. But like, her, like, one of my favorite things of like, it's a great moment in the film that like manages to show you how far that line is between her friends or her fake friends in the movie and where she lives in her life, is that they're shopping at the thrift shop.
Yeah.
Like, and like, or her kids, or her oldest kids work in the grocery store. And like it's just like, there's certain things about the story that make this film seem very, like, make it properly relevant to today.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't, like, if I were to see this film 10 years ago, I'd have been like, oh, they're all, like, this is about poor people. And now I'm like, no, this is about, like, a lot of people right now. Yeah. Like, it's just that's how far the economic divide is, like, changed in the country.
Well,
to where I'm, like, looking at a film like this, and I'm like, no, this is of the moment, and this is actually very important to a degree.
That thrift shop scene specifically is one that I think is maybe, it's one of the best scenes in the movie, and also a perfect distillation of what this film is, because you actually see it like really this magnified in the trailer, where there's that moment where she and her mom are bickering back and forth, and it's almost like they know what the other person's going to say. Even when they're saying their shitty thing, they know how the other one is going to respond, because the dialogue is so fast, as if they've had this argument so many times where her mom says a thing and she thinks she's being mean about it, and so she says something snotty back, and then she turns around and sees this dress, and she immediately goes, oh, and like it all suddenly becomes about the dress and how fun it is for them to go shopping together and how fun this is in their life, and that emotional shift from, man, I really hate you, you're my mom, and you're always mean to me, and this sucks, to, oh, but we're here finding this dress together, and that's really sweet, and I like that, and you're fun, and, like, this is great. Like, that emotional shift is, like, so what this movie is, because Lady Bird is, like, extremely unpredictable in some weird ways that make her also really fun and feel very genuine. Like, you never quite know what her motivations are, and, you know, even when, you know, she's dating Lucas Hedges' character, which he's amazing in this movie.
There's two scenes in this film I want to talk about, and he's in one of them.
Yeah,
anyway,
so
go ahead.
She's dating Lucas Hedges, and they go to that club, and she gets that moment where she sees the guy who's the bass player, and you realize, like, oh, now she's attracted to the bass player, and you're like, well, wait, we've seen all these scenes where you're, like, madly in love with Lucas Hedges, right? And so even though she ends up having an out, where, like, she finds out something about Lucas Hedges that I don't want to necessarily reveal, because I don't want to really spoil that part. But he's hit one of the last scenes you see Lucas Hedges in the movie is, I think it's one of the most powerful things. Yeah. It's more powerful in that one scene than Lucas Hedges is in all of Manchester by the Sea, and that's saying something, because Lucas Hedges is one of the reasons Manchester by the Sea is amazing. Right. You know, so. So even though she gets, like, an out and has a good reason to break up with him, or I should just say a reason, like, you realize that she was also already out of the relationship, and so, like, you don't hate her because she's not shitty about it because she has a good reason, but at the same time you also don't side with her because you realize, like, yeah, you're just 17, and the shit that comes out of your mouth isn't true, and you're just trying to figure it out as you go. And
one of her scenes of trying to figure something out is my favorite scene in the film. Is there? It's another thrift shop scene, and they're shopping for her prom dress.
Yeah,
and she says, "No, they're shopping for her, like, near the end of the film."
Oh, yeah.
And she asks her mom flat out, like, "Mom, do you like me?" And she says, "Honey, I love you." And she's like, "No, but do you like me?"
Yeah.
And like that's, which is like, I will tell you right now, like, I love that is the most, like, honest to God, down to earth conversation I've seen on a film this year.
Yeah.
In terms of just back and forth with the character, and, like, you know what's funny? Like, I'm not a religious guy by any stretch of the imagination, but I love the Catholic themes and vibes through this film. It's like I always seem to like how religion can be used as a tone setter for a film sometimes, whether it's the Coen brothers or even Scorsese with Silence and whatnot.
Yeah.
And this film utilizes it in a way that I hadn't thought about for a long time, which is like the idea of like religion isn't necessarily being beaten over the head with you on this. It's used as a place of comfort. But it's not like, it's not driving any message towards you. It's like no, the reason why she goes to the church after her rough night near the end of the film is like, it's a place that feels familiar. It's a place that feels comfortable. It's not about like, I accept Jesus in my heart. It's about like, no, this feels like a good place to feel safe and then talk about what I want to talk about.
Yeah, and
I like going to the public library and sitting looking out the window, you know? Like, it's like that, you know?
Yeah, I also think it's a movie that doesn't give you any easy answers to any of this stuff. Like, it's why we can't, other than that one Lucas Hedges thing that I don't think, you know, people should know, it's hard to really spoil anything about the movie because it is a slice of life kind of thing. And so when the movie takes place over a year, though it doesn't feel slow at any time, if it took place over a month, you wouldn't know the difference. But it takes place over a year, and by the time that year is over, like, yes, she has changed in some little ways, and she's learning things, but it's not like this isn't the year that everything went to shit or that she figured everything out. Like, it's just 1 year.
Yeah.
And so it's just a movie that asks a bunch of questions and gives you some of this experience and then just sort of ends. In a way that I find really satisfying, but you know,
I do too.
It's one of those. It's fun to chew on, but not necessarily like it's not trying to say anything specific. I don't think.
And that, like I said, that's why I like appreciating. It's like, no, this is just a place of comfort where she can call her mom and be like,
yeah.
I mean, she's not intending to necessarily like outright, but like it feels like the right time to just talk and get it off your chest, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like I said at the top of the review, like I really like this movie, and I would like to watch it again, especially after seeing that video montage we were looking at earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't, unless the second viewing blows me away before the end of the year. Like I don't see myself putting it on my top 10 list, but that shouldn't discourage you from going to see this film. It absolutely is one of the best films of the year.
Yeah,
you should see it. And if all the talk or if all the chatter and buzz is correct, like I would love to see Gerwig get an Oscar for this.
Yeah, I would absolutely say if this movie won Best Picture and Best Director, I think that would be well deserved.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just really solid and special.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Cool. This week, I mean, actually, none of us saw 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri this week. But Ryan did, so we're going to talk about it again. Brad, should people see 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri?
Yes.
Zach, should people go see 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri?
You should have watched it 3 weeks ago when
we talked about it the first time,
and then you should have watched it even before then. Yes, this is one of my favorite movies of the year. I love it too damn much.
James, should people? Yes.
James, should people go see 3 Billboards?
Yeah, 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri is easily one of the best films of the year, and one that we will definitely talk about more in the coming weeks. I think this movie is fantastic, and probably my favorite Martin McDonagh film. Definitely my favorite Martin McDonagh film. So yeah, you should check it out.
Here's one of the best trailers of the year.
Here's one of the best trailers of the year. My dad calls this movie the swearing movie because he could never remember the title, and also because it's called three titles in Ebbing, Missouri. So he just calls it the swearing movie, and we all knew what he meant. So here's the trailer for 3. Make sure it's the red band one.
What's the law on what you can and cannot say on a billboard? I assume you can't say nothing defamatory, and you can't say fuck, piss, or cunt. That right?
Or anus?
I think I'll be all right then.
I guess you're Angela Hayes' mother.
That's right. I'm Angela Hayes' mother.
So, Mildred Hayes, why did you put up these billboards?
My daughter Angela was murdered 7 months ago. It seems to me the police department is too busy torturing black folks to solve actual crime.
The hell is this?
Dixon, I'm in the middle of my goddamn Easter dinner.
Sorry, kid.
I know, Chief, but I think we got kind of a problem.
Sunshine beating on a good time.
I'd do anything to catch your daughter's killer. I don't think those billboards is very fair.
Time it took you to get out here whining like a bitch, Willoughby. Some other poor girl's probably out there being butchered right now.
We've had 2 official complaints about those billboards.
From who?
There's a lady with a funny eye.
A lady with a funny fucking eye?
And a fat dentist.
There's a lot of good friends of Willoughby in this town, Miss Hay. Ow! Ah! You didn't happen to drill a little hole in the dentist today, did you?
Of course not.
Huh?
I said, of course not.
I'm sorry about Angie, but the town is dead set against these billboards.
You know who threw that can?
What can?
How about you, sweetheart?
No, I didn't really...
Go, girl. Hey, fuckhead!
What?
Don't say what, Dixon, when she comes in calling you a fuckhead.
The more you keep a case in the public eye, the better your chances are getting it solved.
And when I see the sign... You know, if you hadn't stopped coming to church, you'd have a little bit more understanding of people's feelings.
All this anger, man, it just begets greater anger.
In 3, 2, 1. And as sad as the spectacle of these billboards might be, this reporter, for one, hopes this finally puts an end to the strange saga of the 3 billboards outside.
This doesn't put an end to shit, you fucking retard. This is just a fucking start. Why don't you put that on your Good Morning Missouri fucking wake-up broadcast, bitch?
Fucking idiot.
That's
of course
a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
get the right
fucks.
one.
Oh my gosh, man.
Hey, fuckhead.
Yeah, don't take your kids to go see 3. Yeah, I adore this film a lot. I said a few weeks ago when we reviewed it that I think it starts and it is funny, and it very quickly, like, you learn who all these characters are, and then the thing that has stuck with me since seeing it is this realization that he is playing you for the first 20 to 30 minutes of the film, where he's introducing you to these characters, using all these archetypes of characters you think you know, and then what you realize by the end of the film is all of your assumptions were wrong. All of the language that we just sort of understand to mean this character is that, all the things that characters say about each other is wrong. And so, like, in the fire sequence, which we're getting into spoilers, but when the fire happens and characters start to turn over or change dramatically, you kind of realize, like, oh, like, as things start to happen that don't make sense to these characters, you start to realize that these characters aren't as simple as you think they are. And especially Sam Rockwell, who genuinely loves Woody Harrelson's character and is just really pissed at what's going on in this town and doesn't know how to take out his anger well, and so does shitty things. It's not because he's just stupid and an asshole and a racist. Like, he is a product of his environment in a lot of ways, and you eventually start learning how to forgive him of some of those things, especially when he starts being smart. But, like,
it's like when you meet someone for the first time, you for the first couple of maybe months of hanging out with them, you see a certain side of them, and as you learn more about them, the view shifts.
Yeah.
And then you start kind of even recounting the first time you met them from a different perspective.
Yeah.
Like the Dixon character is a good example. Sheriff Willoughby's character, like for the first 10 minutes, like, you know, you really think that he's just like a big boss asshole, but like,
yeah,
his character, I mean, quickly his character moves into more sympathy because of what his character has throughout his appearance in the film.
Well, I think his first scene with Frances McDormand, where he comes to her and he says, like, I don't have any leads. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I have done everything I can. I have nothing to go on. If you have an idea, like, you realize in that moment that he's not just being an asshole. He's not trying. He has nothing to go on.
Right.
And even when they get to a place where, I mean, big spoilers for the movie, where they get to a place where Sam Rockwell is like, maybe has a lead and he's trying to figure it out. Even if that had turned out to be true, there is no way for Woody Harrelson's character to have figured that out. Like, there is no evidence until Sam Rockwell overhears that conversation there's no evidence that leads to that guy. So he just has nothing to go on. So you very quickly start finding yourself in this awkward position where you're like, oh, maybe Frances McDormand is kind of just being an asshole, you know?
Which leads into, like, I thought the scene that flips it for me, because, like, I rightfully so walked into this film expecting one thing and got slammed with a dose of medicine, because a great moment is when I think it's just before her ex-husband comes up, but, like, they do a flashback of the daughter with Lucas Hedges, also in this movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it plays Frances McDormand's son. But the daughter and her are fighting, and, like, one of the last things she says is, like, I hope I get raped on the way over to where I'm going, and she says, I hope you get raped too, and you cut back to the reality and whatnot. And then John Hawkes, who plays her ex-husband, comes in, they fight, and then he drops this bombshell. He's great in the movie, but he drops this bombshell of, like, if you're such a great parent, then why was she asking to stay with me a week before she was raped and murdered? And, like, it puts you into this, like, weird position where, like, you're still on Frances McDormand's side, but you're also realizing, like, this is just, like, was she the best mother? No, but, like,
all of the characters end up having these very visible flaws.
You have a lot of flaws that don't inhibit your relationship to the character, but add a layer to your understanding of them and, like, how their further actions proceed. Because from that moment, I'm still on Frances McDormand's side. However, I don't look on her with the same admiration that I do in the first part of the film.
Yeah.
And it's not until Peter Dinklage and her are having dinner, when he gives, in my opinion, my favorite monologue of the year, where he talks about, like, how he's the people think he's the unappealing one because he's a midget with an alcohol problem.
Yeah.
And yet, I'm the unattractive one, but I'm not the billboard lady who doesn't smile.
Yeah.
When he says the words, the billboard lady who doesn't smile, like, that's where it clicks for me, and I'm like, oh yeah, he brought up something that I hadn't been thinking about this entire time, which is, like, I don't think I've ever really seen her smile, but number two, like, I've seen no form of positive energy come from her throughout this entire thing.
Oh yeah.
So,
which is understandable, but at the same time, you start to realize, like, oh, she's actually not that great. Like, early on, you think she's this great, outstanding, like, exciting character who's, like, a rebel on the... Like, when she goes and she kicks both those kids in the crotch for throwing an egg at her car, like, even at that point in the movie, you're still like, yeah, like, those kids are shitty and they deserve to get kicked in the dick. And then later you go, like, that lady kicked 2 kids in the dick. Like, what? Wait a second.
That trailer is really manipulative, and it sucks you into...
It tells you you're going to get a movie with the kind of characters you've seen before, and then it takes all those characters and turns them on their head.
Yeah.
And doesn't give them any, like, easy outs. Yeah. And all of this is not even to say anything about how fucking funny this movie is.
Oh, yeah. It's
like, it's some of the best jokes, some of the funniest sequences. The whole thing where Sam Rockwell is talking about how you have to call it colored people torture now. Like, no one but Martin McDonagh can get away with some of this shit. Especially, I said this right out of after the film, only Martin McDonagh can get away with the joke of having Peter Dinklage say, I'm going to go to the little boy's room. Like, my whole theater just started cracking up, and we only, like, it's just, he puts you in these awkward positions where the only thing you can do is laugh and go, like, well, if Peter Dinklage agreed to say it, so I guess it's funny.
I don't know if you remember when we went in there, but, like, that it took a good maybe 2 seconds before I started hearing laughter on that one. Like, it took a minute.
Yeah, that was a thinker.
We were in the position of, like, it was a position of, like, do we do this? Are we allowed? Because then if we do, we all committed to it.
Are there any doors in here? Are we okay to laugh on this?
Yeah, man. It's great.
In another way, it can also be taken like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Double take.
Woody Harrelson's character is just wonderful.
Oh, I love the notes he. Oh, God, it.
All of his notes.
We're in spoiler territory, obviously.
Oh yeah. We're well
so he shoots himself after like he's like in the worst stages of his cancer.
Yeah.
So
well, before he gets into them.
Oh, and it's not a happy or funny moment, but I just thought it was visceral. Is that he put a bag on his head with a note on it that says,
Don't
"Don't
open
pull
those."
off the bag, boys."
Yeah.
Which is like, it's not funny, but
No.
it's how do I describe it?
Well, the whole thing's about his dignity.
Yeah.
The whole
Well,
like
but
his-
it's unique.
Well, and it's about making sure his wife doesn't pull the bag off either, right? Like he plans everything out with the hope that everything will go his way and he'll make things better by avoiding going through all of this pain, right?
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways he does, right? When they reveal that he's the one who paid, or when he reveals in his letter to her that he paid for all the billboards, you're like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Because it is this moment where finally she gets hers, and you're kind of off the hook of having to like her, but you can kind of like her again because she actually appreciates what a dick he was.
There's one is like, it's like one of those images that like if Mondo does a poster of it, I could see that being one of their some artist finds a way to do something with that imagery.
Yeah.
Because it's that unique. But also like among the many notes he sends post death to different people he knows, I can't remember exactly which one. I think it's Francis McDormand where he says, dear Francis McDormand's character Mike, I'm dead now. Sorry about that.
Yeah. The other thing we've skipped over is the interrogation scene.
Hayes,
which
Miss Hayes, yeah.
The interrogation scene to me might be my favorite scene of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, that sequence is a brilliantly written interrogation where you can see them, sort of playing chess against each other the way you're used to in like the Dark Knight scene where like they're in the interrogation room and like they're trying to one up each other and they're trying to like navigate and win this intellectual battle of getting somebody to admit something, and you can start to tell that he's starting to win, and then he coughs in her face, and the way she turns, it's also one of the moments where she earns a lot of your care again because she turns human and calls him baby and is like, oh, it's okay, baby, and it's and like everything just crumbles in that moment, and you like see through the film. You're not in this like, again, just simple archetypal movie scene. You're in this very human scene.
I like that he's not afraid to switch it up on you when he wants to.
Yeah.
And like it takes a very delicate hand to handle the broad comedy that this film presents, but also the very gut-wrenching drama about grief.
Yeah.
That and recovery in a weird way, like getting over shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a rough act, and I'm so happy that he pulled it off.
Yeah.
Like it makes, and I still need to do this. I need to rewatch In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths, and not necessarily the same thing, but just like watch his work again because he's definitely a talented director.
He's incredible. Yeah. Brad, do you have anything to add?
No, I think my only fault with the movie is the ending. It felt anticlimactic to me, but
too bad because I was about to say like before I talk about the reason why I think this is the best movie of the year because of its ending.
Well, you're wrong, and here's why.
Because you don't like that there is no conclusion.
Yeah, I guess I'm just like more as good as the movie it is. I guess I went in hoping for more of a murder mystery.
Sure.
And it's really just about a character piece.
Yeah.
Just looking at like life in this small town, dealing with this one event that has brought them together, and then like in a way it is resolved because she gets the call at the billboard after Sam Rockwell has built up her expectations, and that's I guess really the end of the movie for me, especially when they start backing out of that shot. I think it's going to end there.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. But yeah, then they go on this little short excursion about like they're going to get revenge, and then as they're driving they realize we're not the badasses that we think we are.
Yeah.
And then we find out that Sam Rockwell knows she is the one who
I know.
set him on fire. So that's good. Like who else would it be?
Right. The
that was a good Sam Rockwell. I mean, it's not the same accent, but it's...
Well, I tried to add the burn in.
Yeah. Or else would it be?
I am totally the opposite side of... I also thought for a second, like, are they going to end with this shot of him sitting on the bed with the shotgun, like, having just hung up with her? Or, and, like, we don't know whether he does it or not? Like, because that would have been terrible, too. To me, the reason why the ending is amazing is that if you looked at the beginning of this film, you wouldn't have believed in the first 20 minutes that this was going to end with those two characters being friends and going on this mission together, right? Like,
not even friends,
that's
just
the
like
least,
acquaintances on the same
yeah,
wavelength.
that they could see eye to eye enough, right? Because they are the most polar opposites in this thing. Like, Woody Harrelson understands where she's coming from, and Sam Rockwell doesn't. And so the fact that that he writes this film in a way that he gets those two characters together is incredible to me. And then to have them both realize that neither of them really knows what they're doing. You know, like, for them to see eye to eye enough to have that moment of realization that, like, even though they both can justify their actions, which is true for the whole film, through the whole film, they both can justify their own actions, but they are probably wrong. At least at the end, they both realize that this pattern of behavior of theirs of doing things because they feel like it's the right thing to do, maybe they're not always right. You know, and that's really the big sort of revelation, if there is one. And just sort of that question of, like, well, if you know a thing about a person, is this the right thing to do? Like, is killing this guy really the right move? I think it's just a beautiful moment to end that film on. That could have been a whole lot worse, because, like I said, I was afraid we were going to end with him sitting on that bed, and I was just like, oh, dear Lord. No, that's just too dark and that's just ending to not give you any satisfaction, where at least putting them both in that car, you're like, oh, okay. Like, I can imagine where it goes from here, or at least I can ask the question, but yeah, I mean, by the end, you certainly never know what happened to her daughter.
It's a testament to the fact that he's primarily a playwright, because that movie ends with a very good piece of dialogue. So
yeah, sure. Anyway, that's oh, hey, Brad, what did Ryan think about 3 Billboards in Ebbing, Missouri?
Outside.
Oh, let's ask him.
Okay,
Ryan.
Hey, Ryan,
what do you think?
Ryan?
Wow, that's a weird take. I did not see. I don't know how you could see that.
I can't believe he liked.
It's like you watched a different movie.
I can't believe he liked that part where Frances McDormand crawled inside of Rihanna.
That's
that was the worst scene in the film.
What were you on when you watched that?
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't remember Sam Rockwell using a mother box to bring Woody Harrelson back to life.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been a good ending.
No, wait. God damn it.
So, sorry, we totally forgot that Henry...
Oh, we did.
Has accepted my challenge and wrote a new Arthouse asshole.
Yeah.
For Call Me By Your Name?
Yes, Call Me By Your Name. Was that a segue? Did you just put the thing in?
Yeah, we just heard it.
Oh, cool.
So,
all right, great. Good job, Henry. Thanks for that. I hear that movie might be the best film of the year. I mean, not from you, because I didn't read the article, but...
I will definitely call that film by its name.
Shh, fuck.
So what do we see next week?
What are we seeing next week?
Disaster Artist, I believe.
Oh, yeah, we're going to try to see
Hi, movie.
Oh, hi, James. Oh, hi, Brad.
Oh, gosh, I watched a little YouTube video where people were side-by-siding, like, his recreations of scenes from The Room and The Room. It's incredible. Like, there's little things where he exaggerates a couple things to make them worse. Like the "Oh hi Mark" scene, you know, the "I did not hit her." Like, he exaggerates it a little bit, but not much. Like, it's pretty close. And then there's some other scenes where, like, the dialogue is perfect. Like, it's creepy. I'm really excited. Really excited to see that thing.
It's not true. I did not podcast about this movie. I did not.
Oh, hi,
Oh, hi, James.
Ah, shit. Man, I should go watch The Room.
I almost bought it at Amoeba Music.
Oh, that would have been that's
on
good.
Blu-ray, and I was like, it's probably more fun just to always go to the theater for that one.
I feel weird about buying that movie on Blu-ray, even though I want to, because I don't know what I'm supporting. What am I supporting? Who am I giving money to?
Oh, hi, French Mafia.
Who gets?
You're giving money back to the distributor who paid for the rights to distribute Tommy Wiseau's
which is just
movie.
Oh, hi, Wiseau Films.
How is it that we still don't know what the fuck is going on with Tommy Wiseau? Like, still no one knows where his money comes from, or like where he comes from.
I guess we'll find out this week when we go.
Will we?
Behind the scenes into his life.
But I don't think that.
What if it turns out that Tommy Wiseau is actually Andy Kaufman in disguise?
I could see that. What if it's Jim Carrey pretending to be Andy Kaufman?
Jim Carrey as Andy Kaufman as Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Acting Inception, guys.
I don't know. It's really weird. No, I mean I don't believe that it's a performance. I believe Tommy Wiseau is a meth head.
Is Tommy Wiseau in James Franco makeup in Tommy Wiseau makeup?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
My mind, bro.
Anyway, yeah, we're gonna see that. It's got Josh Hutcherson in it, the foot face guy, who plays the bread guy who turns into rocks.
He plays Danny. Yeah.
He plays Danny. Yeah.
You know who plays the drug dealer, right?
No.
Zac Efron.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Guy goes, I don't have 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
I saw that on the cast listing. I'm just like, oh, that makes so much sense.
I can't wait. Okay. Anyway, next week, Tommy Wiseau. Or The Disaster Artist. Whatever it's called. Fuck.
Oh, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Real Nerds is a Nebulous Visions multimedia production. We would also like to thank Sparks Mandrill for our music. Additional music from Ben Sounds. Thank you to Alamo Drafthouse. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics. And thank you for listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.